They are feeling pressure in Montreal.
It's just part of football. I mean, sometimes it's healthy. You know, obviously we've lost a few games. We're frustrated about it. We're not giving up, but sometimes the pressure has to come out. You know, there's got to be an outlet, and a lot of time it happens on the practice field.
Candid comments from the veteran Bercheville. What do you make of this, Chris?
Hey, come on! I think you hit it right on the head. Pierre Bercheville said it. Frustration. This is a team that's not used to losing, and now they've lost 2 in a row. They want to get back on the winning track. Hey, it doesn't help when you got a rookie coming in trying to make the team going full bore in practice. That hurts them. They get a little angry. Fisticuffs erupt.
Hey, the next day, Doug Miller was gone from the Montreal camp. Similarly, in Saskatchewan, Shante People saying the offense is killing us. So both offenses under the gun to produce today, and they'll have to be led by young quarterbacks, including Dan Gonzalez making his first CFL start.
Hey, welcome to the new generation, the next generation, if you would, of quarterbacks. Dan Gonzalez. Now, here's a guy getting his first start, but remember, he had 3 quarters of playing time last week, and he'll be going against Keith Smith, who's in his 3rd start, had his best day as a Rough Rider quarterback last week.
So Keith Smith has to step up, but he's going to need some help. What are your keys?
Well, I think if I'm Saskatchewan on offense, I mean, you have got to step up. You've got to help up your quarterback. That means not only catch the ball, but do something after it. On defense, it's simple. Stop self-destructing. Every time you stay in a football game, you break down, something happens, it goes the other way. On offense for Montreal, hey, the backups simply need to step up. You're looking at Gonzalez, you're looking at Gerard, you're looking at Haskins. And on defense, hey, disguise the defense. Give the rookie quarterback something to see. Bait him into making a bad decision, a bad throw, much like Jackie Kellogg did last week in Edmonton.
Hey, so the Owls feeling pressure to keep up with Winnipeg to stay ahead of Hamilton will be part of Game 2 of our Thanksgiving Day doubleheader in Calgary later this afternoon. Scott?
Right, guys, we're ready for a scrap here, and what a day for football. Sunshine, a nice crisp breeze, cool but not cold, perfect in Montreal for the legends of the fall, 10 degrees Celsius. And at halftime today, another edition of Don Whitman's CFL Scrapbook. It involves the Green Riders of 1979, and of course we'll continue to preview Hamilton and Calgary out west at McMahon. We are ready to go, and once again, let's head upstairs, join Mark Lee and Chris Walby.
Thank you, Scott, and a glorious October afternoon. A little chilly, 10 degrees, but a beautiful day for football. The Alouettes won the coin toss, and they have elected to take the ball, and they will receive. Thomas Haskins at his own 25-yard line, right through a seam, then gets a shoestring tackle and falls down short of the 45-yard line, but good field position on the 19-yard return by Haskins for Montreal's first series of the day, and there he is, Dan Gonzalez, making his first career start in the CFL. Chris, he'll have Haskins and Heppel, but you know what he said to me? I'm not going to miss Mike Pringle because I don't practice with him anyway.
That's right. He works with those 2 guys. Of course, the receiving crew, Davis, Gerard, Alexander, Cahoon at the wideout. A big offensive line, Chu, Flory, Bercheville at the guard, Okeke, and Flory.
First down, Alouettes. Play action, they'll go to the air early. Gonzalez going wide side. Bruno Heppel has the ball and steps out of bounds at the 48-yard line.
Nice job of just spreading the defense, throw it out there. These are the guys going to have a big day today. Peoples, Nate Davis, Schultz, Maxey, the defensive end. They got a good linebacking crew, Smith, White, Mitchell at the linebacker. And of course the secondary, Gallant, Evans, and Davis at the halfback, McCullough and Morgan at the cornerback position.
Saskatchewan defense ranked last in the league against the run, first in the CFL against the pass. Second down and about 6 for Montreal. Straight back to pass, Gonzalez again. He'll flare it out to Heppel, breaks a tackle, and he'll have the first down. So on the first 2 plays of the opening series, they go to the blocking back Heppel through the air.
Well, when they go to the short side, they're getting a matchup with George White. They're just going to make George White run with them all the time. Heppel not used to getting the ball this early in the game, but this is a thing they think they can, take advantage of.
The young quarterback Gonzalez going to a high percentage pass early too, and look, they're going to be short, Chris, by inches here. They got a bad spot as Heppel had reached out and placed that ball across the center field stripe. They'll mark him back, and so it's a 3rd down situation, and it looks as though the Alouettes will indeed go for it. They have been good on 9 of 12 3rd down gambles.
Well, when you're averaging over 300 pounds plus in that big front line, I mean, basically Dan Gonzalez, a big man himself at 6'3", just tucked behind center Brian Chu, and he should pick up what looks to be just inches for the first down.
Big assignment for the starting quarterback, snapped this 2-game losing streak for Montreal. He'll sneak the ball, runs into some traffic, but it looks like he'll have the first down.
Well, we talked about it. It's a matter of getting underneath the opponent. The offensive line is trying to get underneath the defense. The defensive line is trying to do the same thing by getting underneath the offense. It just becomes a battle. That time, Montreal wins.
Dan Gonzalez, of course, in only his second game as an Alouette, he only threw 7 passes before coming in last week. So this will be his third game, his first official start in the CFL, although he's had 4 years of experience in the NFL in Miami and Dallas. Haskins, right side, they'll run the ball, but George White is waiting. Short gain on the play, maybe 1 yard. It'll be 2nd and 9.
And this
Danny Gonzalez says he hasn't had many reps, but he comes into this game relaxed.
It's a really tough situation to prepare and not play 1 week and, all over again, and prepare like you're going to play and not play again, and, just be ready when it happens, because it happens at the, in the quickest of times. And in Anthony's case last week, I certainly didn't think I was going to, end up playing against Hamilton in a critical game like that. So, you just have to be prepared and be patient.
2nd and 9 situation. It's complete. Very close to the first down. Ben Cahoon with the reception. And Gonzalez saying, I'm not nervous. I'm ready to have some fun in this football game.
Well, running a little in pattern. Cahoon sitting down right in front of Ladolfius McCullough. Nice job. One of the things they really like about Gonzalez is the poise and leadership in the huddle. He looks you in the eye. A lot of times the quarterback will come in a second stringer and he'll look at the ground, he'll look at his play selection on his wrist, but he won't look in the eye. He will look in the eye, and that's a sign of a guy that's ready.
Rod Rush telling us yesterday, I like his poise. The 27-year-old quarterback out of Neptune, New Jersey, on the ground. The give to Thomas Haskins. He breaks the first tackle and has some daylight again, close to another Montreal first down.
Well, remember, the Roughriders are last in defense against the run. Montreal obviously knows that. They've watched game film. They've scouted it. They've got a good running attack, as they know. They just take it behind the left side, right behind the veterans, Vercheval and Uzumo. Nice job of reading the hole, and nice job of executing by Thomas Haskins and that offensive line, working well together.
Haskins filling the big shoes of Mike Pringle, not playing today because he has suffered a hyperextended foot. So he's on the shelf for the day. So is John Climbey. Another gamble on 2nd and a foot, and they'll have it easily as Montreal continues to move the ball here on their first series and eat up the clock.
Well, the big thing, Mark, is they're getting great first down production. They're putting themselves in second and short situations. As we see the head coach, Rod Rust, right there, 9-4 record in first season as the Alouettes head coach. I mean, they're executing very well right now, but they're getting the opportunity to use the entire playbook on second and short situations.
Rod Russ, 73 years old, spry head coach in this league who's had 39 years pro coaching experience and college experience. Haskins hit hard as he tried to cut up behind his tackle, and the going was tough there on the ground for the diminutive running back. Danny Barrett in his second season as Saskatchewan's head coach. Second of a 3-year plan, and boy, the plans were thrown into a spin when he lost Henry Burris, the bright young quarterback from 1 year ago. He's had to go through 4 quarterbacks this year and a dozen receivers.
Absolutely. He's trying to find that right combination of offense to generate something for this team in the way of excitement and wins.
Alouettes marching 2nd and long. 2nd about 9. Straight back Gonzalez. Time. He'll throw it outside. It's too far for Ben Cahoon. Close coverage from Omar Evans, who was right behind him. And so it's 3rd down and a field goal situation for the Alouettes.
Well, I like what they're doing. I love the way they're spreading the Saskatchewan defense across the football field. We've seen a couple quick passes to Happel on the flats. This time he just gets one-on-one coverage in the flat again. Cahoon working against Omar Evans. Tries to get it one-on-one. If he gets the catch and beats the tackle, he's going to go a long way.
Dan Gonzalez going with some high percentage passes, a conservative first series, but he's moved the team and gotten some confidence here in his first CFL start. Cahoon will place this ball on the hash marks at the 36-yard line for Terry Baker, who has kicked 20 of 21 field goals The last one, though, a glaring miss, 23 yards out to win the game last week against Hamilton, but Joe Montford got his big mitts on it.
Well, I was going to say, you're not getting any Christmas cards from Baker this year by saying a glaring miss when, as you say, Joe Montford, Mr. Everything for that Hamilton team block.
From the 36, Baker is up, and he splits the uprights for the Alouettes. The Alouettes are on the board first with a field goal on their opening drive here in Montreal. Welcome back to Molson Stadium in Montreal and the 50th season of the CFL on CBC. The home team up by a field goal. And the Saskatchewan Roughriders will scrimmage their first offensive series behind this man, Keith Smith, the fourth quarterback to play for this team this year. Looked pretty good last year until he threw the 2 interceptions late in the game to Jack Kellogg.
Well, absolutely. That was just a good defensive scheme by Edmonton against the young guy.
Quick drop, it's complete. It'll be close to a first down as Derek Armstrong is hit by 3 or 4 Alouettes and driven to the 45-yard line.
Well, it's just a nice job of coming back to the football. You see Keith Smith, Darren Davis, Chris Zarka, the fullback, the receiving crew, Ben Druss, Farthing, Henry, and Armstrong, who made the last catch. And, of course, the offensive line, O'Day, Comiskey, Green, Terry, and Mikowski at the tackle positions.
Second down and about a yard. Saskatchewan. It'll be a sneak for Smith. He's having a hard time finding a hole, and then he gets across the 45-yard line and what appears to be a Saskatchewan first down. The Saskatchewan team needs to break out on offense. Mike Pringle has more touchdowns with 14 than everybody playing in this game on offense for Saskatchewan.
Well, absolutely, but it's really important to get some movement on this defense. Birch, Charbonneau, Richards, Trueluck getting the start at defensive end for Montreal. A good Canadian linebacker crew, Young, Reed, and Wiltshire at the wide Sam linebacker position. Defensive backfield, Lester Smith with his second game back. Hunter Washington at the halfback position.
5 receiver set. It's complete to Rocky Henry. He makes a few moves, then Wiltshire comes in to put him down hard. But a good gain on first down for Keith Smith and the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
You got to remember, Keith Smith threw for better than 50% last week, and had it not been for 2 bad interceptions or bad decisions, they really moved the ball quite effectively against the Edmonton defense. It's going to be up to them to do exactly what you're doing right here, and that is getting good first down production. Just a little out pattern right there. Get it to your receiver. Now, we talked about this. Do something after you make the catch. You can see Rocky Henry trying to do that just there.
It's trial by fire for Keith Smith, the rookie under the gun, learning on the field. Zarka gets the handoff up the gut for Saskatchewan. And again, it looks as though he'll be close to a first down as they pull the bodies off the ball. Smith, of course, former baseball player, being drafted right out of high school at the age of 18 by Detroit Tigers. He spent 3 years in their development program, missed football, came back as a walk-on in Arizona, and was a 4-year starter down in Arizona. It is, in fact, a first down for the Roughriders as they move across center field. Smith will hand off. Darren Davis twisting, but not much room there as the number 2 rated defense against the run quickly seals him off.
Well, absolutely. They're almost doing the same thing that Montreal did on their opening drive, getting good first down production. This is the first time they open up with a run to Darren Davis, their leading ground gainer for the season. Just a little off-tackle play behind John Terry and Andrew Green. Just get there, and with his ability, he's got such a low center of gravity, Darren Davis does, that he spins and he makes a lot of people miss, but not on that occasion.
Second and long passing situation. French is in at receiver. Zarka out. 5 receiver set. Here comes the blitz. It's released by Smith to Dan Farthing. He's got it, but he'll be shy of the first down.
Well, he'll be shy of the first down, but a nice job of the rookie to recognize the blitz coming up the middle. You know, everybody has to work together, be on the same page, if you would. And on this play, Keith Smith sees it, gets rid of the ball. Dan Farthing recognizes the blitz, turns it to an outside pattern, picks up the ball. Nice job of reaching back in front of Washington to make the catch. They're up short, but a nice job still of recognizing by the rookie Keith Smith.
And so it will indeed be a punting situation. as McCallum stands back at his own 50. His longest field goal attempt this year, good at 48, so well outside his range into this swirling wind in Montreal. Girard and Durden back to receive this spiraling kick from McCallum. It'll be Durden on the run, and he's hit immediately as a host of Rider tacklers seal any big return for Montreal. It's a field goal for the Owls here early. Welcome back to Molson Stadium in Montreal. The Alouettes scoring on their first series as they look into the teeth of Rachette Chante-Peoples, who is number 3 in the CFL in sacks with 8 behind Joe Montfort and Alfred Payton. First down, Alouettes. Dan Gonzalez now calling an audible at the line of scrimmage. Young quarterback will stay on the ground. Thomas Haskins running into traffic, and he's hit right at the line of scrimmage.
And a nice job of the Saskatchewan linebacking crew coming up George White and meeting the fullback in the hole. It's exactly what you want to do. You know they're going to run this side right now. You got to get in there and stuff it. It's a nice job of stuffing. You see that right there? Taking on the lead block, Appel, forcing him into the hole, closing it down effectively for the running back, Thomas Haskins.
Travis Smith with help from George White, who crashed that line. The second leading tackler in the CFL with 76 coming into this game. A 2nd and 10 situation for the young quarterback, rolling, throwing downfield. It's underthrown and nearly picked off. Sean Gallant was the closest man in the area of that throw.
Well, we said right from the onset that when you have new quarterbacks in the game, you have to rattle them. You have to give them new looks. They brought a blitz. 74, Troy Asbell in the game at the middle linebacking position is going to come on a mad dog blitz, a middle blitz if you would. He's going to come right up the center, try and get in Gonzalez's space. He does that. He forces Dan Gonzalez to throw the football out earlier than he would, and as a result, the ball is not effective and not caught.
Gonzalez looking for Sylvain Girard, who he has practiced a lot with, because Girard is a backup to Jock Climby, and the backup quarterback plays a lot with second stringers in practice here in Montreal. Baker standing at his own 1-yard line. Gets a bobbling punt away. It'll bounce at center field. Rock Preston has it on the first hop, breaks one tackle and gets across the Montreal 50-yard line. So good field position for Saskatchewan when they come on offense. Back in Montreal, there's the veteran Anthony Calvillo on the left, along with Jamie Barnett. Calvillo dressed but will not play today after suffering a small tear in the rotator cuff of his left shoulder. He's telling us that he's had a hard time sleeping this week because he's still in a great deal of discomfort. First down, Saskatchewan. They'll stay on the ground. Darren Davis in a shotgun handoff from Keith Smith, and he works himself over the 40-yard line. A good pickup on first down.
That's an absolutely wonderful way to start off the drive, but what I really like about it is the way the offensive line is coming off the ball. I mean, they're getting on their blocks, and then they're not stopping their feet. Look at this. That is great. Look at how he washes them all the way down. Gene Makowski, that is a textbook block right there, and I tell you what, Darren Davis will be taking you out to dinner if you keep doing that all day.
Sophomore out of Iowa State, leading the 757 coming into the game. Look at him break another tackle. That was a single effort to get very close to a first down.
Well, this is what we talked about. The fact is, help your quarterback out. What I mean is the fact is that when you get the ball, whether it be as a running back or receiver, try to make something happen. This is a nice job of execution again. They come right back to the same play. But Darren Davis, look at this. I mean, the great athletic ability of seeing the hole plug, spinning, finding something else, taking what else the defense will give you.
Davis, the whirling dervish, has a first down. Shotgun formation. Smith will go to the sideline, short side. It's complete to Chris Zarka. He puts his head down, and it looks like they'll have another first down. It's Saskatchewan now, moving the ball on offense. A team that has been maligned in offensive categories in the league. Last in points scored, in touchdowns rushing and passing.
Well, they think that Keith Smith brings something to the table. He brings composure, he brings a lot of leadership qualities. He's got great rollout, good speed, so he can get outside and attack the ends of the defense, the wide spots of the defense. Does a nice job of getting out there, putting the ball in Zarka's hands, and Zarka does the rest.
to the sidelines and is hit hard through the advertising and into the speakers, and there's a flag on the play.
Well, that's, this is the thing. You can't take those kind of penalties. You see, Bedros was heading to the sidelines. He realized he wasn't going to pick up any more yardage, so he's going outside. As he gets to the sideline, unceremoniously pushed from behind, through some advertising, right into the speakers. Very fortunate not to get hurt, and a good call by the referee to throw the flag.
Here's Glenn Johnson with the call.
Holding Saskatchewan, number 68. Major foul, unnecessary roughness, Montreal, number 30. First down.
So Andrew Green on the line for Saskatchewan, and Reggie Durden, the DB, with the cheap shot going out of bounds.
Well, Bedros sees he's going to turn it up the field now. You see Armstrong lets his block go, so he's going to go outside. He's 2 steps out. As you say, Reggie Durden, 30. Unnecessary hit, unnecessary penalty.
Territory as the Alouettes are facing a tremendous offensive drive here by this Saskatchewan team.
They're doing a wonderful job of execution. This is a little draw play. It's a quick draw. Boom. Let the defensive lineman come into you, then take him to him. But look at this. Look at Farthing down there blocking on Washington and everything. Nice stutter step again. Another spin move by Davis. But the offensive line is taking the defensive line of Montreal and putting them out of the running lanes and letting Darren Davis do the rest.
Davis getting all the way to free safety Lester Smith before being tackled. First down and goal at the Montreal 6. It's Davis again, the right side, straight arming one Alouette and driven out of bounds just shy of the goal line. It looked like Mark Washington making contact for the Alouettes.
Nice job of Mark Washington, 23, getting over there, knock him out of bounds at the 1 yard line. But again, it's Davis's athletic ability to bounce from the inside to the outside that makes this play happen. Just a quick handoff. Now it's going to go off tackle, but that's all plucked, so he takes it to the outside. Little stiff arm there, tries to dive for the end zone, but Mark Washington knocks him out at the 1 yard line.
Second down and goal. Saskatchewan as Rod Rust looks on at the Montreal 1. It's a sneak. Keith Smith, touchdown, Saskatchewan. And so the rookie quarterback engineers a touchdown drive on only the second Saskatchewan offensive series. And Chris, you can tell that young man is awfully buoyed by that series.
He's doing such a job of mixing up his play selection. And again, he's getting wonderful production out of the offensive line. And Darren Davis, who, if he's stuffed in the middle, gets to the outside and picks up positive yardage. But Keith Smith on this play, he knows the O-line is fired up today. He just tucks right behind the left side right there. Green and Terry, center Jeremy O'Day, and takes it in the end zone. And that's a great way. Great way.
Snap there, Chris, but McCallum got the convert through the uprights.
To start, I mean, this is something I like to see, and you mentioned the second drive. I mean, to come into hostile territory, into the big, in Montreal's home park, and to do that against a very good defense is a real confidence builder.
Yes, Saskatchewan giving Montreal a taste of its own medicine with a strong ground attack. Darren Davis, who has not been denied on at least 3 or 4 occasions when that hole was closed, he bounced outside. Smith and Demetrius Bedros chatting on the bench along with Rocky Henry, who joined this team 1 week ago and scored a touchdown against Edmonton. Look at the smile on Keith Smith. He's looking composed and relaxed here in his third start.
Well, this is something that the Saskatchewan Roughriders have been waiting for, is this offense to take charge. You see 7-play, 48-yard drive, a 1-yard rush by Smith culminating in a touchdown. But a good job of Smith mixing up the play selection. Dump passes, and then Darren Davis running off tackle. Real nice mix, and you can see when they're talking to Kelly Wiltshire, the outside linebacker, what they have to do to shore that up.
Rod Rush, the head coach and defensive coordinator for the Alouettes. The ball is away from McCallum. It's Thomas Haskins at his own 20. He'll come right up the middle. There's a seam, breaks a tackle, and he'll be across the 50-yard line. Haskins, whose longest this year is 52, brings it back 31 yards. And great field position for his young quarterback, Dan Gonzalez.
Well, this is the biggest thing about it. Remember, there's 3 facets to a football game: offense, defense, and right here, special teams. And that's why this part is so important, because a lot of times if you neglect this part of your game, you don't win many football games. But as a result, Montreal starts off in excellent field position.
It puts Gonzalez in a comfort zone here. First down at his own 51. It opens the playbook. There are a lot more plays he can run here rather than being in the shadow of his own goalpost. Back across the middle, he hits Ben Cahoon, and Cahoon goes down quickly with Omar Evans right on his back.
Just trying to flood the middle of the zone, running little crossing routes. Cahoon coming across the middle, gets the ball and tries to turn it up. But as you say, a good job of cover and tackle, limiting the gain to 3 yards.
The Roughriders coming into this football game 0-12 against Montreal, dating back to 1986. The Owls out of the league for 9 years in the interim. Shotgun formation. Second down. Passes away. It's complete to Sylvain Girard, and a hook curl and a first down. Girard, who caught a touchdown pass last week from Gonzalez against Hamilton, is clearly one of his favorites in the lineup this afternoon. The Alouettes moving the chains, but down 7-3 early to Danny Barrett and the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Back in Montreal, Keith Smith still savoring that Rider scoring drive, a 6-play drive that was mainly on the ground.
Well, absolutely. Starting off with the reverse, nice reverse by Bendros. And of course, you got the other big weapon, number 8, Darren Davis, who's doing it all today, bouncing it in, bouncing it outside, little straight arm action. And you got Keith Smith taking it in with the quarterback sneak behind that good offensive line, and really not getting a lot of recognition, but Saskatchewan's offensive line is probably one of the most solid parts of that Saskatchewan offense.
Well, Keith Smith is mobile. He has played down comparisons to the Doug Flutie style of quarterback, but he can run. He was a shortstop as a baseball player. Quick release. There's an extra lineman in the play. Looks like Lester was in at the tight end position as Haskins goes around the right side, breaks one tackle. Then there's George White and Travis Smith gang tackling him as he crosses the Saskatchewan 40-yard line.
Well, nice job of execution, bringing the big tight end, as you say, Lester. You see the first quarter stats. Pretty even there, 7 first downs for Saskatchewan. That's the way they like to open up right now. Obviously, that big drive last series for them. Time of possession virtually even, 7 minutes to 7:55. The game, the offenses on both sides are moving the football.
Heppel back in on offense. Kevin Lefsrud is out. He was the extra lineman brought in at tight end. Back to pass Gonzalez. Time. It's complete to Tyree Davis. And a little slant pattern for a first down. Gonzalez going to his wideout.
Big play, Tyree Davis. This man can do it all. Just a little slant in, lines up with a wideout, brings it back in. But a nice job working against Omar Morgan. Look at this now. Look at this stuff. Swings, little arm over. Now that's a great move by a receiver. A lot of times you're going to get real tight coverage. Nice job of Tyree Davis to get away from the coverage that play.
Anthony Calvillo telling me before the game that Morgan likes to peek. He likes to play up. We're watching that battle through the course of the day. Play action pass, roll out of the backfield. It's Heppel with the pass. He's tackled high, and it's very close to a first down. Jackie Mitchell making the tackle on Bruno Heppel, who's been used several times now out of the backfield through the air.
Well, that's what we know Montreal likes to do. They like to run the football, and then they like to do a little bit of a play-action pass. You see a little play-action to Haskins, gets out, little boot, put the ball to Heppel with his third catch already today. Get him in a one-on-one coverage with Sam linebacker Jackie Mitchell. Picks up good first down yardage.
All right, the Alouettes have brought in another big man. It's Kevin Lefsrud on the line at that tight end position. Tyree Davis out at receiver. Gonzalez will hand off to Haskins. Right side, Saskatchewan knew that was coming. And George White forces him way back. He drops the ball. The ball's loose. It's still on the ground. And it looks as though the Alouettes finally get it back after stumbling way back close to their 40-yard line of Saskatchewan.
Well, this is why you never pack the football with the shower soap. this ball's just too slippery. I mean, they're going to run behind the tight end. Left shoot, he goes to the outside. He tries to bounce, but a nice job. Look at 29 right there. Eddie Davis taking him down. The ball comes. Now he picks it up and it's jarred out again. Now, there he goes. That's recovery. No, it's not a recovery. Copeland misses it. The ball's popped out again, as you say, finally.
Ben Cahoon
coming up with the fumble recovery.
And the referee, Glenn Johnson, went down on that skirmish. Look at it. The loss, 28 yards on the fumbling running attack that the Roughriders had sniffed out as they tried to run outside the tight end left route.
This is again indicative of what happened last week and the fact that they had opportunities with interception, fumble returns, and just can't quite capitalize on retaining the football.
Second down and 38 from the 39. Eric Lapointe is in. Heppel out. Back to pass. It's a screen pass to Eric Lapointe. Lapointe puts his head down, and his first play of the game on offense. He'll get the ball to the 30-yard line, but well shy of the one. That's where they had to go to get a first down.
And I like what they do. I like the fact that they put Eric Lapointe in here. It's a different style of runner again. I mean, this is a team that most defensive teams never see anybody except Haskins, and the majority of it is just Pringle. Now you got a guy who hasn't touched the football a whole lot this time, wants to make an impact when he gets an opportunity to get in the football game. Little screen passing, you say, pop into his hands, and let Eric Lapointe do the rest.
He's only had 10 carries coming into this game, Chris. They spot the ball at the 37. The second field goal attempt of the day for Terry Baker. It's down, up, and good. Tremendous spot by Ben Cahoon as Baker makes it 2 for 2 in field goals, and the Owls are within one. Montreal glittering, the glass towers looking majestic on a beautiful Thanksgiving afternoon. It's a one-point ball game here in game 2 of our Thanksgiving Day doubleheader. It's Hamilton at Calgary. The Stampeders feeling pressure from Toronto now, just 1 point behind the third place Stamps, and a chance to cross over into the West. Preston with the ball for Saskatchewan. Breaks a tackle, still going. Finally dragged down, but not until he gets across the 35-yard line.
And both teams on special teams are taking advantage of good work by the blocking backs and the blockers up front to give their offenses good starting field position.
Keith Smith coming into this game. Look at his numbers, 4 for 4 coming into this game, Chris. He completed just 48% of his passes, 6 interceptions, 1 touchdown. So he's really, the learning curve is steep.
Absolutely, but remember his first game he was only 8 for 21. I think that affects the percentage somewhat.
Yes, it does. First down, Saskatchewan. Smith, play action, rolling right, shovel pass. Darren Davis has it for Saskatchewan, negotiating first down territory and more as the Saskatchewan offense picks up where it left off.
Well, they're just, I mean, they brought their playbook to Montreal. I mean, we're not going to stay with the standard stuff. We're going to give them every look. Look at this. They put Tito Haney, 69, in a can't-win situation. He can't take the back. He can't take the quarterback. He's got to make a choice. He chooses the quarterback. He's wrong anyway. Darren Davis with the shovel pass picks up great production, great yardage.
You mentioned Tito Hanna working on the edge there, playing for the first time since missing 2 games with injury. First down, Saskatchewan into Montreal territory. Play action again. Smith will roll. He's got lots of time to the sideline. It's complete to Rocky Henry, and he's drilled by Mark Washington into the signboard as well, with no call. The game will be about 8.
Well, they're really excited about getting 82 Rocky Henry in the lineup. They figure he's a big play guy to go along with the likes of Bendros. Just takes him back and comes back to the football, working on Mark Washington. But again, a lot of poise of Keith Smith to get outside to find the time to throw that ball. Rocky Henry working his way back to the quarterback.
2nd and 2, Saskatchewan. Formation, up the gut, Chris Zarka working hard, and it looks like first down territory again for the Roughriders.
Well, it's a very inspired effort right now by the offensive line, by the Saskatchewan offense as a whole. they're just really mixing up their play selection and doing a great job of confusing the Montreal defense. And as a result, they're catching them in a situation where the defense is not sure if they want to go. They're kind of hesitating. And when you get a defense to hesitate, you got a good opportunity to exploit them. Nice job of Serge of getting underneath. See Andrew Green right there coming through the pile against that Montreal defense.
Chris, this rookie has got the Montreal defense off balance. Most observers thought it would be the defense dictating terms to the young quarterback today. Davis up the middle, flags are flying. Look at Davis put his head down, barreling close to another first down. Coming into this game, disguising defenses was a key for Montreal because they can play a lot of different looks and fool a young quarterback. But right now, it's Keith Smith who has Montreal off balance.
Well, I think the fact that they got their running game is working so effectively as we hear the penalty call.
Holding, Saskatchewan, number 68. Repeat first down.
It's Andrew Green for the second time this afternoon as Danny Barrett makes note. But that'll move it back, Chris.
But the fact that they're doing such a good job of mixing up their plays, of allowing their whole offense to go after this defense, this is what will help the confidence of Keith Smith.
And this is a disciplined Saskatchewan football team. Unusual to get a penalty like that. First and 20. Pitch pass. Rocky Henry dropped the ball in traffic. May have taken his eyes off that one a little too soon.
Well, I think Rocky Henry definitely took his eyes off the football. He was looking at the busload of black jerseys coming to take him to the ground. And boy, I tell you what, you know you're going to get hit. Sometimes you got to pay the price. Rocky Henry, you might have to catch this football because you know what? It's catches like this when you take a hit that inspire your team. You can see Stephon Reed, 47, about to lay the boom on him.
Chris, one of your keys, Saskatchewan receivers have got to catch the ball. That was the first incompletion for Keith Smith today. And it should have been caught. Rolling, Smith away from the pursuit. He'll sidearm it to the sidelines. It's tipped and out. Incomplete. Good coverage on the corner as Torrey Hunter, in his second start, comes to bear.
And what did the head coach, Rod Russ, say about Torrey Hunter in his second start? He said he played well enough to stay there in the starting position ahead of Alfonso Roundtree, and he does a nice job of staying with the receiver, not allowing himself to be fooled by the fact that the quarterback might be taken down. Do your own job, let everybody else do theirs, and as a result, the play was successful. He got an ability to knock the football down.
Reggie Durden is the lone man back for the Alouettes. McCallum will get this one away from the 50, angling it. A nice spiral to the far sideline, and it goes out of bounds in the coffin corner at the Montreal 4-yard line. Tough field position for the Owls.
7-6 Riders. Owls have the ball. Here's Jock Climby, who is injured. Tell us about it and when you might be back, Jock.
Well, I sustained a concussion against these very same Riders about a month ago and had some symptoms come up a week after that, and unfortunately I've been plagued by them ever since. So as soon as the symptoms go away, I can play again.
Club's not firing on all cylinders. A little bit of a scrap in practice the other day. Is that worrisome as you get late in the season?
Well, I'd certainly be worried if this was the last game of the year, but we still got 4 or 5 games here to get our ship in order. Obviously missing a lot of guys due to injury. Hopefully get that rectified soon.
Jock, thanks. Good luck.
All right, thank you.
Guys.
When you're a lawyer at $180 an hour, you take care of your head.
Absolutely. I mean, do you want him defending you in a big case when he's got a concussion? He feels a little fuzzy today in the courtroom.
Shante Peoples putting his head down as the Owls scrimmage from their worst field position of the ball game, from their own 4. And he puts the clothesline. It's a piece of Thomas Haskins. Peoples, of course, who uttered those inflammatory words, the offense is killing us, is happy with the offense today as they lead 7-6. Back to pass at the goal line. Gonzalez. It's complete to Haskins. He'll make a move at the first down marker, and he'll have the necessary yardage. Now that's a sign of a confident quarterback throwing from the shadows of his own goalpost.
Oh, just a nice job of sitting back there. Good poise by the young quarterback to sit there and read his keys. I mean, he just sees right here, but these guys are really responsible for the whole thing. They allow him to sit back there. They're going to rush 4. He just sits back in a pocket. Look at the field of vision. And a nice job of Haskins releasing out of the backfield. Little dump pass to him, and again, a first down.
Jackie Mitchell on the tackle. He'll stay on the ground. It's Haskins again carrying the mail. Look at him break a tackle, and he's hog-tied. No, it's LaPointe with the ball. LaPointe showing that he can rumble. Reminiscent of Gil Fennerty in the old Argo days.
Well, just an off-tackle play. I mean, they're going to mix it up. Haskins and LaPointe, different types of runners. LaPointe, a little bit more of a power runner. You see him drop his shoulder right there, saying, if I'm going to be taken down in a tackle, I'm going to take you with you. I'm going to punish you as much as you're going to try to punish me.
LaPointe, the 4-year veteran out of Mount Allison, sharing the running back duties this afternoon with Thomas Haskins. Second down and about 2. Up the gut. Bruno Heppel will have the first down for the Alouettes. Montreal reestablishing their dominance on the ground. So far, it's been Darren Davis all the way for Saskatchewan.
And I mean, Montreal's doing a good job as well. They've got 3 guys carrying the load right now. They've got Haskins, LaPointe, and Heppel on short yardage situations. And they bring in Lefshoot at the tight end situation in short yardage, and they do a nice job of getting off the ball and allowing Heppel to pick up the first down.
They've got tremendous depth in the backfield, filling in today for the injured Mike Brinkley. Pass situation. It's complete to Alexander, and Alexander breaks 1 tackle, close to a first down, and there's a flag at the 30.
Well, the thing that's got to impress you is the poise of Gonzalez to read and recognize what the Saskatchewan defense is giving him right there. He sees the linebackers right here. That's his first read. Bam, he knows where he's going to go now. Right away turns, there it is. They're playing off. He allows Alexander to find a hole in the zone and gets the football to him.
Number 58, a penalty decline. Second down.
So Gonzalez, and it looked like that staggered cadence did cause some movement. In fact, it did. Shante Peoples pulled offside.
Well, not only the cadence, but what they're doing is they're bringing the backs up tight to the line of scrimmage at the last second, hoping to draw the defensive lineman off.
Second down, 1 yard to go, Montreal. Working their way, they started this drive from their own 4. On the ground, Bruno Heppel into a sea of humanity, and it looks like he'll have the necessary yardage at the 40.
Again, at the risk of being repetitious, it's the fact that they're getting good first down yardage, allowing them to be in second and short situations.
Bruno Heppel, not just a blocker in this game, Chris. He's been used through the air and on the ground in short yardage situations as they alternate LaPointe and Haskins at the tailback. First down, Alouettes at their own 40-yard line. Gonzalez hands off to Thomas Haskins, hits the hole, but it's sealed quickly by Travis Smith in the linebacker position.
Real nice job of the middle linebacker, Travis Smith, flowing with the run, staying behind. They're not allowing himself to get caught up in all of that traffic. Slides to the left, pulls it right off. There's a linebacker's just going to come over here and just make the play, and that's exactly what you got to do. You got to stay behind. Don't get too tight to your defensive lineman where you get caught up in all that stuff. Stay out and slide over and make the play, and does a nice job, Travis Smith does, of doing that exact.
Rider defense putting this young quarterback Gonzalez in a 2nd and 8 situation. He'll go straight back to pass. Throwing outside. It's intercepted. No, they're going to rule the ball was down. Eddie Davis has it, but they'll rule the ball down. It is Saskatchewan's football. And the boos come up here in Montreal.
Well, I'm really surprised they're booing. I mean, up to this point, he's made pretty good decisions on the football field. All he tries to do is just force this football to the outside, much like he's done throughout the first quarter. On this play, though, Eddie Davis is baiting him. He's sitting there and comes right back into it, makes a great play. Unfortunately, called back, and he's down on the play, and Saskatchewan will take over there.
Eddie Davis with his 4th interception of the season, reading the eyes of the young Montreal quarterback.
Well, they have him stretching vertically. There's Haskins right here. He's just going to come on the flat. They're going to clear this zone. And Eddie Davis is just going to come over here and make a great job of reading the quarterback and anticipating where the ball is going to be thrown. And look at that. Johnny in the spot, reads the quarterback's eyes, come across, make a great interception.
I don't know about the call of blowing that play down, though, as Davis took control of the ball, rolling away from Thomas Haskins. He leads Saskatchewan's defense with 4 picks this year. A 5-receiver set for Keith Smith as the Riders go on offense. Shotgun handoff to Darren Davis, spinning, flags on the play, and Davis is close to another first down as he continues to cut right through the heart of that Alouette defense.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And this is a nice job as it's staying with what's been working. That's off tackle. Unfortunately, the flag is thrown, and usually that means it's going to come back on a holding call.
Saskatchewan, number 68. Repeat first down.
That is the 3rd call against Andrew Green this game.
That's one way you don't want to get your name put out on national TV, but I mean, he's just trying to go out there and get his hands there right there. But, you know, it's just one of those situations that your offensive lineman, just right here, he's just trying to get there right now. Just gets his hands to the outside, and you see him trying to turn. His hands are to the outside, and the ref, it's not a bad job. A lot of times when they see the hand on the outside of the shoulder, they're going to throw the flag.
Smith, hitch pass. It's complete to Derek Armstrong, but there's nowhere to go as he's hog-tied and thrown back. And what looked like a crotch lift wrestling move. No gain or very little gain on the play as penalties continue to hurt. The last series, they were in scoring position, Chris, at what looked like the 30-yard line. That holding penalty by Green forced them right back into a punt situation. Here they are again, back at center field.
And I think what's happening, Mark, is the fact that defenses are recognizing right now that the quarterbacks on both teams are going for the safe throws. They really haven't gone after or tried to stretch either defense deep vertically.
2nd and long. Smith will dump it off, and Davis has it. And a block. Still going, twisting, and first down territory. What a tremendous conversion for this Saskatchewan team.
2nd and long, you know they're going to come after you. What a great call. What do you run? You run the screen pass. Take a look at it when we come back.
Receiving so far for Saskatchewan is Spinorama moves, giving him that extra yardage. Back to pass is Keith Smith going deep for the first time. Rocky Henry in the end zone. It's tipped by Irv Smith and incomplete.
Well, you got to like this. We just mentioned the fact that they hadn't stretched or gone after the defenses on either team vertically deep. Keith Smith, obviously hearing that comment, decides to send Rocky Henry down the sideline deep. But a nice job of Irv Smith, number 21, the wily veteran, getting a hand on that, knocking that ball out of the way of Rocky Henry.
Demetrius Benross in the same neighborhood, attracting more defensive coverage, Chris.
Well, that's the thing that kind of disturbs in this play. It almost looks like a Hail Mary when you see Benross coming to that field.
2nd down, passing situation. Smith is behind Dan Farthing, tipped and nearly intercepted as Lester Smith was hiding in the weeds. Or rather, Reggie Durden, number 30, for Montreal.
Well,
Irv Smith has left the game, Chris.
Just another situation of trying to hit Dan Farthing, getting him involved in the offense. But the ball thrown behind him. He has to turn around, tries to get his hands on it. As a result, as we see so often, the ball bounces up. Reggie Durden, number 30, almost comes up with a shoelace catch. And had he caught that ball, Mark, I believe he'd have run for a long way.
Paul McCallum attempting a field goal from the 38. And it's good. So Saskatchewan salvaging some points on that series as McCallum hits from 38 yards out, and it's a 10-6 ball game. Saskatchewan opening a 4-point lead. Saskatchewan offense playing for some honor in this football game, Chris. They came in ranked last in so many different categories, and so far they have been dictating the terms of this football game.
Yeah, they really do look sharp with their execution on the offensive side of the ball. I'm really curious to see how the rookie Dan Gonzalez will react after throwing that interception to Eddie Davis in the last series he was on, and see how this young rookie quarterback responds.
Well, it's nice to have a former quarterback as your head coach of the sidelines. There's Anthony Calvillo, dressed but will not play with that torn rotator cuff injury in the left shoulder. And he is week to week, although it may be longer than some think before he's healthy enough to play. His backup, Dan Gonzalez, flare pass to Bruno Heppel. He puts his shoulder down, finally driven out of bounds by George White. The gain will be about 7 on the play.
Again, just a situation and going for a matchup. Number 33, Heppel, against number 38 for Saskatchewan, George White. Little safe pass, release pass right out to 33, Bruno Heppel. Let the big man put his shoulder down and try and pick up something positive, and he does, picking up 7 yards.
Again, the young quarterback going to high percentage passes, short passes. A high percentage chance of being completed. 2nd down and 3 for Dan Gonzalez and the Alouettes. Hand off to Thomas Haskins, crashing up the gut for a Montreal first down.
Nice push by that big offensive line. They've really done a good job of converting almost all 2nd down situations by giving the ball either to Heppel, Haskins, or on other occasions, Lapointe. But the big boys up front, you can see Lester, number 57, who comes in those short yardage situations, doing a fine job of moving the defenders out of the way.
Thomas Haskins now is at the wide receiver spot. They move him out of the backfield on the short side. Gonzalez straight back, lots of time across the middle. It's complete to Haskins, who came from the left sideline all the way across the middle of the field.
Well, they figured they could clear the zone out, clear it out, and trail Haskins outside, line him as a receiver, almost a slot back, and bring him across the middle, trying to get a step on the defender. But as you see, Eddie Davis, 29, is step for step right in the back pocket of Haskins, and as soon as Haskins makes the catch, he's brought down immediately.
Look at this comparison, Chris. Darren Davis enjoying a huge advantage on the ground. Haskins, -3 yards. 2nd down and long. Rolling. Gonzalez down the middle for the first time. Oh, Gerard had it in his hands and couldn't hold on.
Well, he's got to make that catch. As he goes up to make that catch, Sean Gallant, the free safety, I mean, he falls down. So had he made that catch, he had an opportunity to take it longer. I mean, he just sits there, he goes up for the football. Now that ball is in your hand. You can see number 2 on the ground already. He had slipped. That's one of the situations that had Gerard come down with the football and kept his balance, he may have gone further with that catch.
You got to have that. That was an arrow from Gonzalez as Terry Baker stands at his own 35. Brock Preston and Ladufus McCalla back to receive this punt. From Baker. It is McCalla at his 22. Gets one block, straight arms, an Alouette, and then is hauled down at the 35-yard line. A 38-yard punt from Terry Baker and a 13-yard return from McCalla. And the one-man wrecking crew for Saskatchewan, Darren Davis. There are the numbers, 31 on the ground, 44 through the air, 75 yards. And Chris, a lot of it's second effort.
Well, that's exactly what it is. But I mean, if you got a guy that's having this kind of game and week in, week out, you better give him the football as many times as you can, whether it be through the air or on the ground. And they're doing that today.
Last week he had 12 carries for 71 yards against Edmonton, losing cause 35-19 at home. Play action now, rolling. Smith, he can run and he'll pull it down before being forced out of bounds by Mark Washington. Smith can scramble. He's tough. At 5'11", 207, he's also built.
Well, it's a nice job also because what it does is it forces the defensive ends of Montreal, Swift Birch and Arcal Trulac, to play honest. They can't cheat inside. If they cheat inside, what will happen is it'll allow the quarterback to get to the outside, and as a result, Keith Smith will pick up yardage running the football.
Hey, he really fooled Swift Birch on that play action as the rush end bit on the fake. 2nd down and about 4. Passing situation. Smith dumps it off. It's complete to Darren Davis, diving for the first down marker. He'll be very close as he worked hard to stay from going out of bounds.
Well, nice job of getting the ball to flat, but then having the presence of mind to see the first down markers and actually stretch out. Get that ball across the first down marker to keep the drive alive. He's slipping and he just stretches out.
Field is slick as it's rained for 3 days here in Montreal.
Really I like the second effort right there, as you say. Slips, good presence of mind, stretches out, keeps the drive alive.
Mark Loftus has come into the game, an extra defensive back for Montreal. First down, Saskatchewan. Pass is complete. Demetrius Bendros has it at about the 52-yard line as Keith Smith continues to throw those short, high-percentage passes.
Well, short passes, but he's putting the ball on a rope. I mean, it's right there. He turns and there's the ball. That's exactly what you want to have happen when you're sitting in front of coverage. There's Will Loftus, who comes as an extra defensive back. The ball is thrown now. Don't wait and allow the defender to make a reaction.
Rod Rust likes the versatility of Loftus, that he can play free safety and come in at an inside half position. 2nd and 4. It's complete to Rocky Henry for another Saskatchewan first down. Smith baiting the Alouette DBs, throwing short stuff underneath.
Well, remember, he also went deep a few series ago to Rocky Henry, so they got to keep that in the back of their mind, that they know that Keith Smith can't throw the ball long. So as a result, they're playing off a little bit. They're playing in the zone coverage, and he's doing a good job of going to the left side of the field and coming back to the opposite side with short, safe passes.
Smith, pressure, and he's down. Cal Trulock, the former Saskatchewan Roughrider, who came here as a free agent from the Arena League, puts the quarterback on the turf.
Well, they really like him. He put a few pounds on, a few lbs. He's a lot stronger right now, and as a result, he can run the corner tighter. He doesn't have to go wider. He won't get pushed out by the tackle. Does a nice job of closing the corner and wrapping up Keith Smith for a sack.
Trulock in the Arena League with Detroit Fury was the best defensive player this year and named Rookie of the Year. Time ticking here. Smith rolling, pursuit now from the backside, gets it away. Oh, it's on the line and complete at the 40-yard line to Demetrius Bendros.
And what does athletic ability buy you? It buys you time. It buys you the ability to get to the outside, to look for that receiver. And boy, I tell you what, Keith Smith does a wonderful job of getting away from the pressure. 98 is right in his face. He just runs away from him, throws off his back foot. The ball is right there to Bendros. That is a nice job of execution, not only by the quarterback, but by Bendros staying with the play.
Chris, you mentioned time of the essence here for Saskatchewan with 13.2 seconds to go in the first half. And they're just shy by about the length of the football for the first down. They'll bring it out to the hash marks and measure again. It'll be a third down situation and less than a yard.
They also have a timeout to play with right here. So, I mean, once they get the first down, clock will start. Then they have an ability to still stop it with a timeout if they want to kick the field goal.
Now they're pumping crowd noise into the speakers here at Molson Stadium as the Riders come over the ball. Third down and goal. Speakers shut off now. 13.2 seconds to go in the half. Smith will sneak for the first down. Chris, that clock ran on for at least 2 or 3 seconds after the ball came down.
Well, as soon as they got the first down, the whistle went, stopping the clock with 8.4 seconds, and now decision time is definitely a factor here for Coach Danny Baird. Do they go for the field goal, or do they try one quick play and then use their timeout to stop the clock and allow McCallum to come in and try a field goal?
Fans supporting the Al defense here in Montreal, but for Paul McCallum, they're at the very edge of his range right now. His longest this season, 48 yards. And McCallum is coming in, so with 8.4 seconds to go, they will attempt this field goal. And the winds have been swirling inside this stadium today, making for judgment difficult for the kicker. This will be 46 yards for Paul McCallum. within 2 yards of his longest this season. King with the pin. Low kick. It's good as Paul McCallum hammers a line drive and another field goal, and that puts Saskatchewan up by a converted touchdown.
And I got to tell you, if you're on Saskatchewan sidelines, you're going, hey, this is fantastic. We converted the field goal in the last play of the first half, because remember last week against Edmonton, they could have went in with the lead, but they botched the field goal, allowing a touchdown the other way, and Edmonton walked in with the lead. So this is a big play, that field goal for the Saskatchewan offense.
I'll tell you what, there's going to be a lot of confidence in that Saskatchewan locker room at the half. You're right, Chris. They had several chances to score last week against Edmonton. Blew 2 turnovers by fumbling it back on the very same play. And as you mentioned, botching that field goal. Keith Smith has to be happy with the game he has called here so far. A 13-6 lead as the Alouettes run out the clock, and the boos are coming up here in Montreal. This Montreal team on a 2-game losing streak, and the fans don't appear to be very tolerant, as the home team will go into the locker room at halftime trailing by 7. The Roughriders mixing it up on offense with a 13-6 lead.
Well, this is what I love about half times. It allows the teams to make adjustments, and if you're in Montreal, you're going to go in there, you're going to get with your position coaches and figure out what you have to do to be more successful. I expect to see Dan Gonzalez go vertical in the second half, and I mean go deep with the pass. Everything he's done so far in the first half has been short, safe passes. As you said, Mark, it's time to go deep and stretch the defense.
13-6 Saskatchewan at the half as we go down to Scott.
Right, and here's Danny Barrett of the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Looks like Keith Smith and Darren Davis are connecting. Do you see that?
Exactly right. We put together a pretty good package for this week coming in against these guys. And I think the key is that everybody's in sync on the same page right now. And we got to carry that over for another 30 minutes.
Good signs that you convert a field goal at the end of the half. There's no fumbles, no turnovers here.
Well, there's always the positive that you look at and everything. You know, we came out with the intention that, you know, it's a must-win situation for ourselves. And the guys are playing like that. We're playing with a sense of urgency. Now we need to do it for 30 more minutes.
Danny, good luck. Thanks.
Thank you.
Danny Barrett, coach of the Saskatchewan Roughriders. It's 13-6 for the Riders over the Montreal Alouettes at the end of the half as the CFL on CBC. Our 50th season continues from Montreal.
The CBC and the CFL, you can't get more Canadian than that. Congratulations on 50 great seasons.
There's a scene from the mountain in the old city of Montreal. The mountain is where the Alouettes are trying to get in the Eastern Division of the CFL. It'll be tough based on Winnipeg's performance and Montreal's performance today. It's 13-6 for the Saskatchewan Roughriders at the half. Keith Smith has the touchdown, the Saskatchewan quarterback, a 1-yard plunge. Now out west, things are really jammed up. Nobody has a winning record, including the Calgary Stampeders, and they're worried because Hamilton's out there to try to make a little hay. Here's Steve Armitage.
The Ticats come to Calgary fresh from an upset win over Mike Pringle and the Montreal Alouettes, thanks to a last-second missed field goal. Ben Sankey and the Stampeders are coming off a loss to the Argos when lack of consistency inside the 25-yard line was and is a problem. So how do you solve it?
We need to go out there and just be focused on that play, and if we have a bad play, focus on the next play. And I think if we just do that in the red zone, that will be more effective.
Finding Mark Boerichter will make Calgary more effective. He was brilliant as a rookie, but underutilized this season, and there might be a simple reason for that.
With Dave being gone and those 2 new guys coming in, we've really had to adjust our offense, to run the ball a little bit more and really adapt it to those guys. So I think a lot of that has to do with why my production is down.
The production of Joe Montford is just about where it is every season high. The Ticat rush end has 13 sacks so far and was outstanding in Hamilton's overtime win over the Stamps 2 weeks ago. Danny McManus is to the Hamilton offense what number 53 is to the defense. He'll pass, and maybe more than ever. Is that added pressure for Danny Mac?
I don't really call it pressure. I mean, it's just out there having fun playing. I got some quality guys who are going to catch the ball. I got great guys in front of me who are blocking. And then they enjoy going out there and doing the pass blocking and things like that. But I know also in the back of their minds they want to tee off and go with the run game.
Controlling the line of scrimmage could be key for the Ticats today, buying Danny Mac just a little bit of extra time. The Stampeders will have history on their side today. They haven't lost to the Ticats here at McMahon Stadium in Calgary in 11 straight games, and that goes way back to 1988. It's the Ticats and Stampeders, the second half of the doubleheader, the CFL on CBC.
Thanks very much, Steve. Here it's 13-6 for the Saskatchewan Roughriders at the half over the Montreal Alouettes. Paul McCallum has a couple of nice field goals for the Riders in this one. McGill University and Montreal as we continue the CFL on CBC.
Following a touchdown, the team that scores usually kicks off. But the team that is scored upon has the option of receiving the kickoff or kicking off themselves. I've only seen this happen once.
Danny Sanders may just emerge as a Saskatchewan hero. Walters is wide open. Walters on the sideline. He's going to score.
Following the late touchdown, Saskatchewan trailed by a point. The Riders attempted a two-point convert going for the win, but they failed. And then Ottawa coach George Brancato opted to kick off rather than receive, causing confusion on the Saskatchewan bench. Brancato's plan was for the defense to pin Saskatchewan deep, and then his team hoped to simply run out the clock. And that strategy paid off for the Ottawa Roughriders as they hung on to win the game.
At halftime here in Montreal, it's Saskatchewan leading the home team 13-6. Well, Chris, Darren Davis has been a one-man offensive whirling dervish for Saskatchewan, and it really appears evident that the Alouettes are missing Mike Pringle on offense.
Well, most definitely are missing Pringle. I mean, Haskins is trying to do the job, but they're also giving Happel and LaPointe opportunities. Darren Davis, as you say, a one-man wrecking crew for Saskatchewan, but what I really like is the fact that Keith Smith is just mixing up that offense and he's getting all his receivers involved.
It's Davis, though, through the air and on the ground for Saskatchewan in the first half.
Well, absolutely, and here's a little screen pass. I mean, we know what he can do when he carries it out of the backfield, but put the ball in his hands at all times. So just a little dump pass, a screen pass, and let him do the rest by himself, and he does a wonderful job using his athletic ability to pick up a big gain.
Dan Gonzalez making his first CFL start. Waited a little long and telegraphed this one to Eddie Davis.
Absolutely, tried to clear the area out. Eddie Davis read the quarterback's eyes, comes across, big interception, got called down on the play, was touched by the defender, and as a result, had to stop there.
A little later, though, he's right on the mark here, but gets let down by his receiver.
Well, one of the things we said is some of the guys have got to step up. Gerard has to step up for Jock Climbing, who they're missing. That ball hits him in the hands. He has got to make that catch to keep those drives going. Help out your quarterback on that play. He doesn't, and the drive stalls.
Both young quarterbacks have played well in the first half, both with identical completion records of 12 for 16, Gonzalez and Keith Smith. But right now, it's Saskatchewan dictating the terms of this football game, up by a converted touchdown at the half.
Here's Rod Russ, the head coach of the Alouettes, down by 7 at half. Was it them being aggressive offensively, or are you not keying on what you needed to do?
Oh, I don't think we've played as well as we need to play. I think that's pretty obvious, and I sure give them credit. I knew they'd come in here ready to play football, and they have, and that's to their great credit. We have to play better. They're playing well. We have to play better. It's not very complicated.
Will you continue to run the football, even with Mike Pringle not there?
Absolutely. We want to run the ball. Boy, LaPointe looked pretty good to me.
All right, good luck, Rod.
Okay.
Guys?
Well, the Alouettes 1-3 when trailing at halftime. They're down by 7 here to upstart Saskatchewan. And Chris, they must be feeling a little bit of heat right now. They're on a 2-game losing streak, and Winnipeg is running away with the East.
Well, I think they're not even worried about winning first place anymore. I think it's a matter of getting into the playoffs, which they will, and then take care of business once you get in the playoffs and find out who your opponent's going to be.
Haskins inside his 30, right up the hash mark, still going through traffic, still running. Haskins breaks another tackle. What a tremendous return, and it took the kicker, Paul McCallum, to finally bring him down.
That's the way you want to come out of the second half. You want to start off on a positive note, and what better way than have Haskins on a kickoff return giving you excellent field position in Saskatchewan's side of the football field. I mean, he just goes behind and it's all him. He breaks tackles. This is all Thomas Haskins.
Great blocks from the Owls on special teams. A 49-yard kickoff and a 38-yard return from Thomas Haskins to kickstart Montreal here to open the second half. Dan Gonzalez at quarterback for Montreal. He'll stay on the ground to Eric Lapointe. Lapointe looks outside, then cuts inside the tackle for a short gain.
Well, we talked about game notes. We talked about in the beginning of the game what they had to do. Receivers need to step it up today. Look at that. 6 receivers with catches. Defense, don't self-destruct. Longest Montreal gain, 17 yards. For Montreal, the backups need to step up. Haskins, -3 yards rushing. Gerard, 1 reception. And defense, we got to disguise the defense, come out to Keith, and they haven't done that.
Chris, Gerard is out of the game right now. Jermaine Copeland in. The Alouettes make some changes at halftime. Back to pass. Gonzalez across the middle to Haskins. It's complete, and he's pulled down by the head at the 40, well short of the first down.
And Saskatchewan's defense is doing a nice job of giving the underneath to the Montreal quarterback. He sees the opening, he throws the ball, but what's happening is the guys catching the ball from Montreal are in front of the defenders. They bring them down, and in this instance, they bring them down short, and they force a 3rd down situation and a field goal try by Terry Baker.
Baker will attempt this field goal from the 47. His longest, 52 this year, but he leads all kickers in the CFL. Good on 86% of his field goal attempts. Calhoun with the pin. Baker hammers this one hard and wide left. Brock Preston in the end zone. Can't find the ball. Finally picks it up. Killing some time and then steps out of touch. A 47-yard missed field goal by Terry Baker for a single, and it's 13-7 Saskatchewan. Well, Danny Barrett told Scott at the half, we're playing with a sense of urgency. Yesterday, Chris, he told us, we're going to give you guys a good game. And they have so far.
Well, Saskatchewan is calling it the drive for 5 with 5 games left in the season counting today. But you take a look at the halftime stats, 181 net yards to 117. The big thing, obviously, is a turnover right here by Dan Gonzalez.
Keith Smith has not thrown an interception so far as he hands off to Darren Davis. Look at Davis, reverse field, gets outside, gets a block from Armstrong, and is very close to a first down. Continuing to make things up and make them work.
Well, that's exactly what he's doing, Mark. It's the fact that he refuses to be brought down. If it's not there, what he's just going to do is turn it around. He just goes there. Now, look, it's tackled, so he decides to reverse his field and come back against the grain now. Here he picks up a couple blocks, tries to stiff arm, picks up a nice first down run, making it 2nd and short.
Mark Washington, who's having his best season as an Alouette, making the tackle. He's getting some interest from the NFL. The New York Jets say they might want to sign him in his option year next year. 2nd and short. Keith Smith will sneak for the first down across the Saskatchewan 50-yard line.
And the thing that you really got to like is the second effort made by guys like Darren Davis. The fact that he just refuses to give up. And it just is infectious for the rest of your team. I mean, the rest of your team sees the effort put forth by number 8 on your team. And they all want to pick up their game another level.
Now, might Keith Smith noticed that on the far side, wide side corner, it's Reggie Durden, the rookie, in for the veteran, Herb Smith, who was limping late in the first half. It is first down. Smith hands off to Davis from the shotgun, and he piles his way to center field. Steve Charbonneau finally puts the hammer hold on him.
Doing a real nice executing this play, as you say, just like a gut handoff right there. Give it to him, let him go up to see the comparisons of the quarterback from the first half. Very similar, obviously the big difference, the interception by Gonzalez. But what I noticed on the last play, Chris, is that the Montreal defensive ends are coming with the flow of the running back. So look for Keith Smith to take off outside.
Back to pass, shotgun across the middle. It's a blitz, nearly intercepted. Kelly Wiltshire diving in front of Dan Farthing right down the middle as the Alouettes brought in an extra defensive back in Loftus.
Well, they bring Loftus, they bring the blitz. Again, Good recognition by Keith Smith to see this, and also Dan Farthing, who breaks it off and brings it back into the middle. Unfortunately, Kelly Wiltshire, good coverage. Dan Farthing needs to bring that route, that pass route, sharper toward the middle, not so much down toward the end zone, and get separation from Kelly Wiltshire.
Try to work away from it just a little. Okay? That's good, though. That's good. That's a good read. That's a good
Positive
read.
encouragement on the bench for young Keith Smith from Coach Danny Barrett. Good read. And that's the toughest part of this position, the most important position in football, quarterback, to make your reads, especially against a defense like Montreal's with so many veterans. A bounce. Taken by Reggie Durden at the 20, gets outside, straight arm, and then he's driven very close to the track here. The fans calling for a flag, but there will not get one. A 36-yard punt and a 6-yard return.
Reggie Durden into the football game for the Alouettes. That for cornerback Irv Smith, who is out. He has a pulled hamstring. Short week. The Alouettes take on Toronto on Saturday. That from Dr. Vincent Lacroix. They're not taking any chances with Irv Smith, guys.
No, especially since Lester Smith is only back for his second game after being out for 10 months with a spinal infection. They want to keep that secondary intact. The ball is loose. And it looks as though the Owls may have recovered it.
Well, good pressure by that front four. Demetrius Maxey getting in there, knocking the ball loose. Montreal very fortunate to come back up with that fumble recovery. But you gotta like to see the defense is inspired now. See, the ball is punched out right there. Nice job of stripping the ball from Gonzalez. But the defense is inspired because of the positive things they're seeing on their offense.
Fumble allowed a 2-yard gain on that play. It's 2nd down and 8 for Montreal. The young signal caller rolling. There's a blitz. He escapes it outside. Still going. Finally hauled down. Shante Peoples sacks Dan Gonzalez. And the boos come out again here in Montreal.
Well, they go after the rookie quarterback. They bring the blitz up the middle. He avoids the blitz, but unfortunately does not outrun Rushan Shante Peoples with his 9th sack of the season. Beats away from Jackie Mitchell, gets to the outside, but 58 tracks him down and brings him down for the 9th sack.
So much pressure and so much speed on that young quarterback there. He had no chance to even look downfield.
And one of the difference brought out by that, obviously, Mark, is the fact that, you know, we have Keith Smith, who has a lot of athletic ability, gets to the outside. Dan Gonzalez not as quick.
And now Baker standing on his goal line. Preston, he's back along with McCalla. McCalla has it at his own 45 and is hit immediately. Tremendous bunt cover from the Alouettes on what looked like a threatening return. First down Saskatchewan. Tremendous field position at their own 52-yard line. 4 receivers to the wide side. Smith goes short side. Pump fake. His receiver fell down. It looked like Davis was pointing, trying to get a call against the defender.
Well, he was trying to get him one-on-one, a little wheel route. Get him to the outside. All he's going to do is get him to come out here and go up and straight up the field. He's going to do a little pump fake, and what he does there is try to freeze the defensive back, the man covering him. But Darren Davis slips on the play, and the ball falls out of harm's way.
2nd and 10. Red hot standing, trying to get this crowd whipped into a frenzy. It's been quiet in Montreal. Lots of time. Smith guns it into the turf. Incomplete again. He locked on to Darren Davis. The one-man offense for Saskatchewan.
He was just getting rid of the football in that play. He realized that he was going to get hit by Mark Washington coming on the blitz right there. Sees, I don't want to take the loss. I'm just going to throw it away, dump it off. He just throws it at Darren Davis's feet, takes the incompletion. Just sits there. Now he realizes he's going to take a hit, so he just throws it down.
Stephen Reed, close coverage in the play. Chris, he's going to have to diversify his offense. He can't stick with Davis all game.
Well, no, remember what he did in the first half, Mark, which I really liked was the fact that he was dumping the ball to Zarka in the flat, go for matchups, getting outside, using your outside receivers, whether it be Ben Dross or Henry. You got to don't forget the rest of your teammates.
Rookie Reggie Durden is all alone return this punt from Paul McCallum. Into the sun, Durden has it at the 25 and hit immediately. Wow, tremendous cover on the part of Saskatchewan as the Owls will start inside their 30s.
Closed captioning of this program is brought to you by Mazda.
It has indeed been a rough ride for the Roughriders against Montreal. They are 0-12, and last year the biggest margin, 62-7, was a senseless slaughter. But this one, much closer. 13-7, Saskatchewan on top and playing Montreal tough. Riders trying to break a 5-game losing streak. On the ground, Haskins running hard. Travis Smith put his head down to make the tackle for the Riders.
Well, we talked about the fact that they're going to stay with the running game. They've got to keep pounding. One of the traditional marks of this offense is they will keep handing that ball off, whether it be Pringle or Haskins, until they get success.
Chris, I've seen Gonzalez in practice the last 2 days. He's got an arm, he can throw deep, but he's yet to really test the Saskatchewan defense vertically. Second down and long. He'll have to throw. Lots of protection. He flats it out again. It's FL with the ball, but a short gain, and they'll be forced to punt again.
Well, I can understand why the fans are getting a little upset here. You can only go to the cookie jar so many times with these safe passes, and as you say, Mark, they've got to start stretching this defense. The defensive backs, the cornerbacks, the halfbacks, and the safety are all facing the situation. Everything is happening in front of them. They're never having to turn their hips and be in a chase position.
So Gonzalez goes back to the bench, where Anthony Calvillo is waiting to give him some advice. Another punting situation for Terry Baker. Rock Preston, along with Ladufus McCalla, standing at the Saskatchewan 35. Baker with the win. He booted 152 the last time. He gets another skyhook, a spiral, driving McCalla back inside his 25-yard line. Here's the cover as they string it out. Bolduc gets blocked, and McCalla makes something there, bringing the ball inside the Saskatchewan 35. An 11-yard return, but a 53-yard punt. Welcome back to the sidelines here at Molson Stadium in Montreal. Watching this afternoon, this man, Mike Pringle, the battering ram running back for the Alouettes, out with a hyperextended foot. Resting here today, but the Alouettes could sorely use him on the ground. First down, Saskatchewan on the ground they go as Darren Davis up the middle for about 4, maybe 5 yards.
Just staying with the same game plan. Straight dive play straight ahead. Offensive lineman, block the guy in front of you. Keep the feet moving and let Darren Davis pick up what he can. He picks up 3 to 4 yards on that play.
Smith looking to the sidelines as the play is sent in from head coach Danny Barrett. Second down and 7. Saskatchewan. Just under 6 minutes left in the third quarter. Blitz. It's away and complete to the veteran Dan Farthing for a Saskatchewan first down. And you know, Farthing has become a security blanket for this young quarterback, Keith Smith. He's always in the right place when he's supposed to be.
Well, this is a recognition again of Keith Smith. It's the same play they tried early in the quarter. On that first attempt, Wiltshire had the coverage. They went to the sideline. Danny Barrett said to Dan Farthing, you've got to break it in more across the field rather than vertical. He does that. As a result, they pick up the blitz, and it allows to get the catch to Farthing on that play.
Farthing in his 11th season has felt the injury bug, missing 8 games this year with knee and ankle injuries. A big set of hands there in the first down. Play action rolling right. Here's pursuit from Hanna. The ball's away and incomplete. It was Farthing again, the intended receiver on the sideline. Just a little too far for him to bring it in.
Well, one of the reasons they like Tito Hanna in that defensive line is this guy is as fast as anybody on this football field, and he'll get out there and get after you in a hurry, and as a result, he doesn't allow Keith Smith on this opportunity to get outside and find Dan Farthing.
Tito Hanna svelte at 6'3", 235. He could be a receiver in this league. He's very quick off the edge. Back after missing 2 games with injury. Flushing the young quarterback on that last play. Empty backfield. 6 receiver sets. And it's a quarterback draw. Oh, did that fool the Alouettes as Loftus came up to make the tackle.
Well, they emptied the whole backfield. He's the only guy back there. They're anticipating the pass. Takes 1 step and follows the blocking of his offensive line. Tries to find a hole and picks up nice yardage. Puts him in a 3rd and short. Just gets, look at him right behind. That's what you do. That's what a smart quarterback does. Gets behind the big boys. Jeremy O'Day is center. Picks up 9 yards.
Short by a yard. And the Riders will be conservative, Chris, at center field. They're going to punt.
I think this is a smart decision with the lead and the way they're playing right now is put them back in the hole. Montreal's offense is struggling right now. Let your defense pin them back.
McCallum into the wind. He has a 42-yard average. Reggie Durden back along with Sylvain Girard. They both have wheels. McCallum running the clock. Gets it away. Oh, it's a nice high spiral. Driving Durden back to his 18. He slips on the turf and goes down as Regina's strategy pays off. They pin Montreal deep. A 41-yard punt and just a 5-yard return. Here's Scott.
Right, Mark, and here's Mike Pringle, who's missing his 2nd game of the football season. A right foot this time. You got so many problems. How's it feeling, and when can we expect you back, Mike?
Hopefully I'll be back this upcoming Saturday against Toronto. It's my right foot this time, and some unfortunate injuries this year, but hopefully I'm sitting out. I'll get healthy.
What about the football club and how it's moving the ball or not moving it today? What do you see?
Well, we just have to play four quarters. Saskatchewan is playing exceptionally well today, so we just have to stay focused, and hopefully we didn't underestimate Saskatchewan coming in.
Looking forward to seeing you back soon, Mike. Good luck.
Yeah, thank you. Me too.
Guys.
Interesting choice of words. Hopefully we didn't underestimate Saskatchewan coming into this game. Pringle, of course, leading the CFL with 14 touchdowns and 1,175 yards rushing. But without Mike Pringle, this is what happens to the Montreal football team.
Well, absolutely. He's just an added dimension. I mean, he's a one-man wrecking crew, and, the results, we can always guess at what they might be had Mike Pringle played in today's game.
1 loss in the other game. They missed him. As we see, back to pass. Gonzalez, 2nd and 10. Gonzalez is caught and will be sacked again. Sheldon, the pastor, pulls the young signal caller to the turf, and these fans are beginning to boo again, Chris.
Well, rightly so. I mean, they're just sitting back there. They're getting in a 2nd and long situation all the time, and as a result, the Saskatchewan defensive line can pin their ears back and come after you. This time, Sheldon Apasnik, who was one of their better pass rushers last year, is getting back in after injuries this year. Does a fine job of grabbing Gonzalez for a loss and forcing another 2 and out, and Terry Baker to punt from in his own end zone.
The Pasek getting to play more with the injury to Colin Scribner. He went down with a leg injury last week against Edmonton. And now Baker will again be forced to punt, this time standing about 3 yards deep in his own end zone. He's had a couple of boomers. This one, he can't get a spiral. It'll bounce at center field. Preston has it at center field, hit immediately. It looked like William Loftus in early to make the tackle. Good punt cover from the Montreal Alouettes. Well, Keith Smith, we talked to him about the finger pointing in the Regina locker room, the fact that Shawnee Peoples was saying that the offense is killing us. He had this response saying, "We're together in that locker room in Regina."
We're not pointing fingers on our team. Shante was just frustrated, and that's just he had to get what he had to say what he had to say. I'm worried about the offense, and I'm concerned about us getting the ball in the end zone. We're killing ourselves in the green zone. So And that's my main thing, is to put points on the board, and I can only take care of my house.
Second and 10. Well, that time he was let down by Rocky Henry. He was playing with a grenade up there.
Well, one of the things, again, we saw Darren Davis slip on that sideline earlier in this quarter, and that's exactly what happened on this play. Rocky Henry out there coming back toward the football. Before he could actually get the ball to him, he slipped on the ground. The ball bounces off his chest.
One thing I like about Keith Smith, he doesn't get rattled. He handles the controversy and the pressure with composure. And right now he's passing over 50% here against one of the top defenses in the CFL. Second and 10. Smith in the air. Oh, in and out of the hands of Bendros. Close coverage from Washington, but that could have been complete.
Well, it could have been complete, but had it been complete with the coverage by Mark Washington, it still would have been far short of a first down. He's just working one-on-one, trying to get outside. A little bit of, jostling between the two players. Gets to the outside. Ball is there. He can't come up with the catch, but had he made the catch, it also would have been a third down situation, as he'd have been about 5 yards short of the first down.
You mentioned great coverage on the play by Washington. Last week in Hamilton, he had 5 tackles, 2 forced fumbles, recovered one of them in a knockdown. And he's gaining a lot of attention from south of the border.
Well, he's also the defensive player of the month for September, so he's made a lot of people stand up and take notice of his play.
Callum again running the clock down, trying to use up as much time as he can. Spiraling punt deep to Reggie Durden at his own 13-yard line. And there was not much room for the return on that one. A 37-yard punt into the wind, an 8-yard return from the rookie as Thomas Haskins brings this offense back on, an offense that has not gained a first down in the second half, Chris.
Well, I think right now, Mark, both offenses, like the weather, are cooling off and really having a hard time putting any kind of drives together.
Just heard from Mike Pringle, 10 rushes, no yards for Haskins. A team that really has a system in which all of these guys fit in. Haskins, Eric LaPointe, they blend naturally into this run-oriented attack, but not today, as Rod Rush's offense has been curtailed by this scrappy Saskatchewan defense. Passing on first down. It's outside, too far behind Tyree Davis.
And again, Mark, we reiterate the fact that he's going with the short out patterns, 3-yard gainers, safe passes, not going after the safety or the deep backs of the secondary of Saskatchewan Roughriders. And as a result, as even indicated on this play, all the defenders are keeping the play in front of him. Makes their game a whole lot easier.
Dan Gonzalez playing with a short playbook here this afternoon. 5 yards passing and 5 yards rushing only here in the third quarter. Back to pass. Here's the blitz from the outside. He stretches the defense, and it's complete. Jermaine Copeland, the rookie out of Tennessee, has the ball for Montreal.
Now, we've talked about that, Mark. If you're not going to attack him deep, you're not going to be successful. He just comes across the middle. He gets behind the coverage. Ball is right on the spot. Copeland with his first catch today, but a big play for that Montreal offense as it passes over the outstretched hands of linebacker Troy Asbell.
And I'll tell you what, this young kid, this rookie, has tremendous hands. Last week he made that circus catch on the final drive for Montreal, put them in field goal position. Gonzalez across the middle. It's complete to Copeland again as he goes back to the rookie from Tennessee. It'll be short of a first down, but encouraging for Gonzalez with a couple of completions in a row as time ticks away and runs out in the third quarter. Let's take a look 1 week ago at Ivor Wynne Stadium in Hamilton. Time running out. Gonzalez in for the injured Calvillo, throws it to Copeland. It's bobbled. He keeps the ball in the air. The Cats think it's done. They think it's incomplete, but watch this. One hand, he keeps it up on his back. He gets up and runs and puts them in the field goal position. On the ground, Haskins pulled down high, but he'll have the first down for Montreal as this offense comes to life with 1 quarter to play. The pressure on this veteran team as Saskatchewan leads by 6. hostile sky over Montreal in a very low-scoring football game on Thanksgiving Monday. A 13-7 Saskatchewan lead as we get set to start the fourth quarter. Let's take you back in time to the highest-scoring game ever between these two teams. Ron Lancaster at the controls for Saskatchewan, the year 1978. And Montreal and Regina playing to a 35-35 tie as Jerry Titilio hits Larry Smith, the president of the Alouettes, for a touchdown. 35-35 it ended in 1978. Here it's a 6-point Saskatchewan lead. Montreal moving the ball on offense. Play action now. Gonzalez buys time, rolls out, and it's batted down. Nate Davis with his meat hooks on that one.
Nice job of Nate Davis to anticipate where the ball was going to be there and get his hands to knock it down. You got to wonder what's happening and what Dan Gonzalez is seeing, because we're seeing other parts of this offense not being utilized. Little play action pass is going to come to the outside, sets up, and actually drills it right into Nate Davis's midsection.
So it'll be second down and 10. Montreal across center field, looking to muster some offense in the second half. Wide open, Bruno Heppel bobbles it and finally brings it in and then pays the price as Omar Morgan gives him a licking.
Well, again, a situation where the Saskatchewan defense will give you that short stuff. They just sit back there, they slide them out. He just slides them outside. Bruno Heppel juggling the ball. Number 3, Omar Morgan coming, laying the lumber on number 33, hits him right in the numbers. As a result, knocks him 2 yards back and out of bounds.
And 4 yards short of the first down. And so it's a punting situation for the Alouettes. Baker standing at his own 50. Morgan really putting his shoulder into the big fullback Heppel. Rock Preston and Adifus McCalla, the two returners back for Saskatchewan. Baker will fake. He's got room to run, but the first down marker is too far. Then he'll pass it, and it's incomplete. Indecision by Terry Baker will cost Montreal as they turn it over on downs.
It's Don and Roger from Air Force.
A Canadian tradition, the CFL on CBC.
Celebrating their 50th season together.
Cheers!
Well, the Alouettes have been good on 10 of 13 third down gambles. You see Terry Baker talking to Glenn Young. He tried to get the ball to Young, but Young was an ineligible receiver, and he didn't catch it anyway.
Well, he has this opportunity. Allow the veteran Terry Baker to make the decision. If he thinks he can get the first down running with the football, take off. But great job on the special teams, Teddy Neptune, of staying with the kicker, forcing Terry Baker to make a poor decision to try and throw it to an ineligible receiver, Glenn Young, on the time anyway. But nice job of the special teams of the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
Yes, a heads-up play by the rookie out of Ottawa U, Neptune, containing the punter. And so Saskatchewan takes over on downs. In the shotgun, the handoff to Darren Davis. No hole, he'll go outside, make it on his own again, puts his head down, diving across center field, and very close to a first down for Saskatchewan with 13:30 to go in the football game.
Well, one of the things that Darren Davis gives you is the ability to bounce everything to the outside. He's got good speed, and he's had good success when he gets around that tackle position.
It's the third quarter stats, Chris, as Saskatchewan doubles the yards rushing on Montreal. 2nd and 1. Saskatchewan marching again up the gut for another first down. Chris Zarka carrying the mail again for Saskatchewan.
Well, that's what happens when you get great production on first down. It allows you to have a 2nd and short. That allows big boys like Chris Zarka to get their hands on the football. Keith Smith just puts it right in there, and Zarka does the rest, and you can see they're just trying to pull up the big man's legs to stop the drive.
Zarka out of Eastern Illinois. He packs a wallop up the gut for Saskatchewan. as they hold on to the ball on offense. Shotgun. Davis gets the handoff. This time he's mugged right at the line of scrimmage. A gain of 2, maybe 3 on the play. As this time the Alouette defense was waiting.
Nice job by the defense of fighting off the offensive lineman and making the play at the point of attack right there. Just a little, let him give it to him 4 yards deep, let him find a hole. You can see Charbonneau just grabbing him right there, getting help from Chulak to bring him down after a 2-yard gain, putting him in a 2nd and long situation, something they haven't been in a whole lot this afternoon.
2nd down and about 8. Rolling. Keith Smith. Time. He'll pass. It's complete to Dan Farthing, and Farthing is hit hard out of bounds by Kelly Wiltshire right at the 1st down marker.
Well, there's nobody happier than Keith Smith about getting Dan Farthing back in this offense. Last week, only 1 reception for 5 yards. It looks like they're right back on the same page today as he's continually looking for number 10 to make key clutch catches.
And Smith likes to run the corner. It cuts the field in half. It makes his reads easier when he's got just 2 men to look for on the outside.
And it puts a lot of pressure on the defensive end on that side that he's attacking.
1st down on the catch from Farthing. Handoff up the gut. Darren Davis negotiating his way through the line of Montreal and then taken down for a short gain. Gain will be about 4 on the play, 2nd and 6. The clock continues to run, 11 minutes to play of regulation time. A low-scoring 13-7 Saskatchewan lead as Montreal's offense has sputtered here in the 2nd half. A rookie quarterback going up against a savvy veteran Montreal defense. He's done a great job so far. This time he throws into coverage and it's intercepted. Kelly Wiltshire has the ball as Smith goes 1 too many times to the well, and Dan Farthing.
Well, we talked about it a play earlier, and I hope we didn't jinx him. But the fact is he is on the same page until this play with number 10, Dan Farthing. He wants to get him again on the short side of the field, and then this time, Kelly Wiltshire Johnny in a spot with the interception.
Native Kelly Wiltshire giving the local fans something to cheer about with his 1st interception of the season.
Well, I mean, they're just trying to go back to Dan Farthing, working all afternoon against Kelly Wiltshire. Kelly Wiltshire reads it, actually picks the ball away from Dan Farthing in that play.
Play action now. Gonzalez in the pocket. He throws it to Thomas Haskins. And then George Weiss tracks him down and sends him out of bounds for a good gain on 1st down for Montreal.
You know, that's a good game, Chris, Mark. You know, but what I'm thinking about is this. Where is Ben Cahoon? Where is Tyree Davis? Where is Kevin Alexander? Are they on this football field today?
This young quarterback, Chris, is restricting his playbook to high percentage short dump passes. He's not going deep. You're right. He's not going wide. He's got some tremendous receivers out there waiting for the ball. Gain was about 6. 2nd and 4. Gonzalez calls an audible at the line of scrimmage, but it looks like he's run out of time. This might be a time count violation.
Absolutely, Mark. He does a little check off. He audibles at the line of scrimmage, forgetting that you only got 20 seconds.
Violation. Montreal, number 14. Repeat 2nd down.
Getting back to the receivers, Chris Davis, right now with Jock Climby out with the concussion situation, is the leading receiver on the team. He's not seeing the ball much. Ben Cahoon, right behind him, the number 2 receiver on the team, has been virtually ignored as well. 2nd down. 11 to go. Gonzalez steps up. Now he'll go deep, but the ball will hang up. Davis goes up high. It's incomplete. Double coverage on the play. But into the wind, that ball hung up.
Well, the ball definitely hung up, but at least he's trying to go after the defense a little bit, make them earn their pay a little bit. You see his double coverage right there. He's got Eddie Davis, Nomar Morgan right there. The ball hangs up. Tyree Davis can't come up with the catch, but Mark, they've got to start doing this more often. You cannot stay with the conservative gain if you're going to try to win this football game.
Gonzalez getting the message as Anthony Calvillo paces the sideline. It must be frustrating for him. He can't play with that injured rotator cuff in his left shoulder.
Hands off and hand.
High punt from Terry Baker. And Preston has the ball at the 30-yard line, reverses field. He's still on his feet, finally dragged down, trying to make something happen on that punt return with 9:13 to play. And Gonzalez beginning to feel tight as his team trails by 6 on a 2-game losing streak. A reminder coming up right after this one, we will go to McMahon Stadium in Calgary, where the Tiger Cats are in town to play the Stampeders. The Stamps feeling the heat, Chris. They're just 1 point ahead of Toronto, trying to cross over for a playoff spot in the Western Division after that big win over BC.
The last times those two teams met this season, Hamilton squeaked out a win in overtime.
Now Calvillo has convened a meeting of the quarterback and the receivers as they try to get something going. And Saskatchewan keeps giving the ball to Darren Davis as he bowls his way. All those players just kept moving for like 7 or 8 yards underneath this young running back.
And you know, being a former Hoggy, being a former offensive lineman, I love to see when these guys are doing a good job. And boy, the big boys up front are really moving the Montreal defense.
Here's Davis today. Look at that. He can't find a hole. He'll straight arm and go outside. Through the air, he takes the screen pass and goes straight up the middle. He has been the single biggest weapon on offense for Saskatchewan today. And he gets the ball again up the gut on a 2nd and 4 situation. Once again, Chris, it has been second effort that gets him all of his yards.
But we talked about the fact that second effort is contagious. When you see it from one guy, you want to do more. He gets stopped. He should be stopped well short on this 2nd down conversion, but his will and determination puts him in a situation where they're going to have to come out and measure to see if in fact he did pick it up, or how far short or how short a distance he has to go to pick up the 1st down.
13 carries for 71 yards. Last week at this time, he had 12 carries for 71 yards. Shouldering the Yeoman's share of effort and just inches short of the 1st down. It will be 3rd down at the Saskatchewan, just across the 42-yard line. And they will go for it, Chris, with 8 minutes to go in regulation time and nursing a 6-point lead. 3rd and inches. Keith Smith puts his head down, gets a push from behind from Darren Davis, and he has the 1st down.
A nice job of going behind Jeremy O'Day and rolling off, falling off to the open spot, the hole that's created by the offensive lineman, and almost being sucked in by the draft for a 1st down.
And the Riders continue to monopolize the clock, ticking away at 7:33 and counting left to go in the 4th quarter. Danny Barrett promising an effort today, and he's getting it against this Montreal club. Flat pass, tough catch, but Davis makes it, dancing, and doesn't get much room as he's hit by his own player, John Terry.
I tell you what, the big boys are getting out there trying to lay some lumber on the defenders of the Montreal Alouettes, and John Terry, 51. Nice catch and concentration by Davis trying to go, but 51's going to come right in there. He's jumping over. He says, hey, Montreal, if you can't tackle him, let me show you how it's done.
Great concentration, though, as that ball was too far in front, and he had a linebacker and Stephen Reed bearing down. Then pays the price from his own man, a 323-pound lineman taking him down. 2nd down and about 9. Smith will run. He gets outside and steps out of bounds, but well short of a 1st down. Keith Smith could not find a man open and was forced to pull the ball down and get out of bounds.
Well, he does a nice job of picking up something out of nothing because he is well defended. The defensive back secondary of the Alouettes do a fine job, and they come up to make the play. Reggie Durden, number 30, pushing him out of bounds after a short game.
But just at the last moment there, Farthing was left open by Durden when the quarterback pulled the ball down.
That's one of those experience things where he wonders how close he is to the line of scrimmage. Has he crossed it? I have to keep holding on to the football. I can't throw it.
Durden, the lone man back to receive this punt from Paul McCallum, who has the wind at his back, standing at his own 31. 6:14 and counting to go. Time running out on the Alouettes. It's a shank job as it bounces and makes a left turn at the 43-yard line of the Alouettes and goes out of bounds. And so Montreal gets a break on the punt and some good field position when we come back. Back in Montreal, a defensive struggle with just 1 point in the second half. Coming up right after this one, it's part 2 of our Thanksgiving Day doubleheader at McMahon Stadium in Calgary. Ben Sankey will lead the Calgary Stampeders in a rematch against Hamilton. The Cats winning 2 weeks ago in overtime on the Flutie touchdown. There's a nice shovel pass to Haskins. He breaks a tackle and goes down hard, very close to a first down as the Owls begin to open up the playbook.
Well, we might as well open it up now with under 6 minutes to play in the fourth quarter and down 13-7. No sense holding back. I mean, use what you have to use to get something to spark this offense because, as you say, since the start of the second half, they have been very flat.
The gain is 9. It is 2nd and 1 for Montreal at their own 53-yard line. Quarterback sneak. Gonzalez goes hard, and he'll be very close to that first down territory. Gonzalez in his first CFL start. Coming in for the injured Anthony Calvillo. And this is the way he's moved the ball around here today.
Well, you can see he's gone over, Happel and Haskins. Your 2 running backs are your leading receivers, where you should be starting to use some of these big play guys like Tyree Davis and Ben Cahoon, who have only 3 catches combined.
Yeah, for a total of 31 yards.
No problem.
It is a first down for Gonzalez and the Alouettes. 4:40 to go in regulation time. Gonzalez going deep down the sideline for Tyree Davis. He dives, but couldn't get past Morgan. The fans are saying there was obstruction on the play, but there is no call.
No call, both playing the football. Omar Morgan working one-on-one. Tyree Davis does a straight fly pattern. He's going to run straight down. He runs into the back of Omar Morgan. Omar Morgan is looking back to get to that football. As a result, good coverage on the play, and rightly so, no flag thrown.
Nice ball, but great coverage as Morgan had position on Tyree Davis. It's incomplete. 2nd and 10. Saskatchewan. Big splits. Drops off. Gonzalez again to the sideline. It's complete this time to Tyree Davis. He has some words with Morgan. They go nose to nose, and they're broken up as Davis signals first down and tries to fire up this offense.
That's exactly what it is. That's a sign of frustration, saying, hey, now you remember me. I'm number 84. I had to walk onto the sideline and reintroduce myself to you, Mr. Gonzalez. Hey, look at me. We go deep the first play. Now I got Omar Morgan worried about me going behind him. I can play inside. Comes right back to him. Comes back to the football. Nice job.
First down. They go on the ground. Haskins hit hard for a short gain at the short side of the field. It'll be 2nd down and 6. Montreal with 3:24 and counting left in regulation play.
And remember, momentum is a very finicky person, and for the majority of the afternoon has been on Saskatchewan sidelines, and it may be starting to creep over to the Alouette bench now.
2nd down, Alouette. 6 yards to go. Gonzalez, play action. Short side. It's complete to Davis. He beats one tackle and another first down, but he fumbles. It's recovered, though, by Sylvain Girard, and the Alouette drive is still alive with another first down. At the 3-minute warning, the Alouette offense has finally caught fire, but they trail by 6. 14-year veteran Pierre Bercheval admitting this week there's pressure on this team to win and break a 2-game.
Well, here he is right here, and he's going to pull and get the big block that's going to spring the hitch pass to Tyree Davis. As he rolls it, he gets out there. Now that's a block that springs him. Also, nice block by Girard down there, who recovers the fumble. But that's what you got to have.
Crowds marching, flags flying on first down as Gonzalez pulled away from center, and it looks like there was some early movement along the line of scrimmage, Chris.
Well, they're definitely calling procedure against Montreal. They talk it over with the Saskatchewan defense.
Procedure, Montreal, number 57, will repeat first down.
Scott Flory, the right guard, called for procedure. He's engaged and has just purchased a home in Regina. It says he loves it here in Montreal and is expecting to re-sign with the Alouettes. Eric Lapointe into the game now in the backfield, the ace man in the backfield for Montreal. He'll get the handoff on the drop. Lapointe with daylight puts his head down across the 25-yard line. And a good gain on that 1st and 15 situation.
Well, one of the things that Eric Lapointe gives you is power. You're missing Mike Pringle. Haskins is not a power back. Eric Lapointe is, and as a result, simple handoff, let him find a hole, but he'll bust through people as he does right there. Lowers his head and takes everything that the defense will give him and more.
Second down. 6 yards to go. Alouettes threatening here with 2:21 to play. Haskins has it. It's complete. Very close to the first down as they mark his forward progress. Just shy of that marker, it looks like, Chris.
Again, nice job of just sliding him out from the backfield, put him out there, get him the football. Nice job of concentration by Haskins to hold on to the football. Gets the ball, juggles it, knows he's going to get hit, but holds on to it. Puts himself in a third and very short situation.
The Alouettes bungling that last gamble, and Terry Baker couldn't make the completion. This time, it's 3rd and less than a yard inside the Saskatchewan 20-yard line. Gonzalez, flags fly at the snap as he pushes forward on the sneak.
And this is where everybody starts pointing at each other. Saskatchewan goes, it's Montreal. Montreal goes, it's Saskatchewan. But boy, I tell you, that's really a mental breakdown if it is against Montreal.
And Demetrius Maxey is signaling the call is against Montreal. Here's Glenn Johnson with the call.
Procedure, Montreal, left guard, 3rd down repeated.
Pierre Verschaval, the veteran, called for procedure, and they'll move the sticks back 5. It's 3rd down repeated, and about 6 to go.
Well, I tell you, this is unbelievable for the 14-year veteran. He's just going to move. You see him just kind of move a little bit, rocks in his stance. The line judge throws the flag.
Here we go. 3rd down gamble. 6 to go. Gonzalez back to pass with time. It's complete to Haskins, but he's close to the first down, then driven back. And Peoples is celebrating. He says they haven't got it.
Well, it always comes down to Marcus where they give him his point of forward progress, but they're signaling for not even going to measure it. They're signaling first down Saskatchewan.
It's a yard short of the first down, and with 1:58 to play, Saskatchewan will take over on downs. A costly penalty, pushing back the Alouettes from a 3rd and less than a yard situation to a 3rd and 6, and they won't get the first down.
Well, just a nice job of sitting back here. He sees who he wants to go right away, puts the ball into Haskins' hands, but look at the coverage right there. All 3 guys wrap him up, McCullough and company. Mitchell there, they drag him down a yard short, and a big, big defensive stand, probably a game-winning stand by the Saskatchewan defense.
Well, the Saskatchewan defense standing up to a Montreal offense, which is 1st in the CFL in yards per game. But today they've been held to just 7 points. With 1:58 to play in regulation time, Keith Smith goes to work. Davis the handoff, gets through it, cracked. Once again, the first hole wasn't there. He slides outside for more.
I know what, Mark, I remember a quote from yesterday that I thought was quite silly at the time I heard it, but quarterback Keith Smith said, if our defense can hold Montreal to 7 points, we will win.
That's right, he did say that.
And I thought, there's no way Montreal's offense has never been held to 7 points. Well,
that's a tall order, though, to put on your defense.
Absolutely.
We both chuckled, as a matter of fact, saying, how can you hold Montreal to 7 points? Well, they've done that here today with 1:52 to play. It is 2nd down, Saskatchewan, 3 yards to go. Montreal needs a huge defensive stand here, as Darren Davis has outrushed the entire Montreal team, minus Mike Pringle, injured with a hyperextended foot. Davis, the one-man show on offense. 2nd and 3. He'll get it again, and he'll have what looks like the first down. Thundering right through the left side of the Alouettes.
Well, I know you're only supposed to get one game ball. There's a lot of guys you can pick, but this offensive line deserves a lot of credit for opening the holes at crucial times. You see right there Terry working on Birch, Green on his man, getting on their defenders and pushing them out of the way, allowing Davis to find the holes, and especially at this time of the game when you know they're going to run the football.
First down, Saskatchewan. 1:31 and counting to go in regulation. This time Darren Davis is tied up and goes nowhere. Pringle on the sidelines, animated, but he can't do anything about it. As Darren Davis has hogged the spotlight this afternoon.
Well, he's definitely done what he's had to do, and I really like the way that Keith Smith has distributed the football to all his receivers. Beautiful job execution today.
It's 2nd and 12. A loss of 2 on the last rush by Darren Davis. Time critical here. They'll go back to Davis up the gut. There was nowhere to go. He breaks free, and he's down the sideline. Darren Davis running for the goal line will be hauled down from behind. Staying in bounds. So the clock reads 57.3. What a breakthrough. There was nowhere to go.
Well, he's done this all day. The fact that he stopped means nothing to this man. Look at him. He stopped. He runs into traffic. He's so short, he gets down, and all of a sudden he finds the opening, gets to the outside, and then it becomes a foot race. Lester Smith in pursuit, and he just goes down, staying in bounds. But as you say, the clock is running right now with 54 and ticking.
Staying in bounds, being cognizant of that, so that the clock would run immediately as ball was whistled into play. 44 and counting. A back-breaking run of 51 yards for Darren Davis. As they stay on the ground, and this O-line, Terry leading the way, continues to manhandle the front four of Montreal.
And what they've really done is they've eliminated crucial mistakes. On defense, what was the thing they said? We can't self-destruct. They didn't self-destruct. They did a fine job of limiting and confusing the rookie quarterback from the Alouettes, Dan Gonzalez. Really well-executed game plan on all aspects of the Saskatchewan Roughrider game plan.
And they're celebrating now on the Regina bench. Time ticking away. The fans streaming for the exits here at Molson Stadium. Keith Smith will take a knee. Clock will stop at 18. A few more boos coming up here in Montreal as the Alouettes will lose their 3rd game in a row. And Saskatchewan will snap a 5-game losing streak and move to within 3 points of 3rd place Calgary in the West Division. Look at Danny Barrett.
Well, rightly so. He's had a real tough time with these guys, and taking a lot of criticism, and he always believed in his team. He said, there's no finger pointing. We got the squad. And boy, they proved it today. They really came out and played with their backs against the wall.
Danny Barrett has been doused on the sidelines. They win for the first time in 6 weeks as Darren Davis shoulders the load for this football team. A 13-7 upset of the Montreal Alouettes. Keith Smith, the rookie quarterback, gets better with every week. And his team is victorious today. Mike Pringle with a glad hand for Darren Davis, and rightly so.
And you know what? We talked to, Rod Rust yesterday, and he said, hey, listen, we cannot take these Roughriders lightly. They are a very tough team. And he really singled out Keith Smith, saying this kid is getting better every game he plays. And boy, I tell you what, we watched him last week. We thought he was impressive. He really played well today.
But how about the Alouettes? Now the magic number for Winnipeg is 1 to clinch the East. One more Winnipeg win or a Montreal defeat, and the Bombers will win the East. Let's go down to the sidelines, and here's Scott.
Right, okay, Mark, and here's rookie Keith Smith. A big victory for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, and it looked like you connected all day with Darren Davis.
He's a great player. He's made plays for us all year, and it just feels really great just to get this victory, especially playing in a tough environment like Montreal. And, I'm thrilled to death. He broke that big run at the end there to kind of seal the victory. I'm really happy for him and our team. We worked so hard to get a victory, and we got it. It feels great.
You made such an interesting comment, and that was that you could limit this team to 7 points and you could win the football game. What did you know?
Well, we knew we had to, as an offense, we had to not turn over the ball. We had 1 turnover, and just play smart. I had to make the right reads and stay within myself and make the correct reads, and we could handle it. Our defense was playing great, and they played great all year, and they did another great job tonight. And, it showed on the scoreboard.
All of a sudden, you put yourself in an interesting situation because you have a huge football game at home against Calgary, and now you're within reach. Do you feel something building?
Well, we got confidence, and we've been playing with confidence the last couple of games, and, it's just we need to keep it rolling. Our coach said it's a drive for 5. We got 5 games left. We got 1 now. Now, hopefully, we can get on a roll and, just take 1 game at a time, the old saying, but it's true.
Is there a good feeling in the locker room? There had been some talk of dissent and finger pointing, but now a win.
Yeah, I think it was more frustration, but this win is going to hopefully clear up some of that. And I'm thrilled to death for this victory. I can't tell you how thrilled I am.
All right, Keith, thanks very much and good luck to you.
All right, thanks.
There's Keith Smith, the quarterback of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, and here's the buddy he put the ball to all day long, Darren Davis. Congratulations on the victory, and tell us about how satisfying it is.
All during the week, I kept saying, fellas, it's do or die time. And we came out here and did it. And I just kept telling Coach, keep me in the eye. And let me put it in my hand. Let me make something happen.
You had a nice way to put it away. You had a big run, over 50 yards there at the end. When you got the football, what did you see and where'd you go?
Well, I like when I get the ball in the eye, I like to read. And it was just a nice hole there, and I bounced it outside. And I was just trying to get far as I can and lay it down.
Yeah, good job. Now, this is an important time for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. You're now within reach of the Calgary Stampeders in the West, and you have them next week. What do you look forward to against that football team?
All we got to do is come out and play like we played this game. I mean, I know there's a few mistakes we made, but we just need to come out here and play like we played today, and then we get a video because we got to win out from here.
All right, thanks very much, Darren, and good luck to you.
All right, thank you.
Darren Davis of the Saskatchewan Roughriders ran all day long as the Roughriders beat the Montreal Alouettes 13-7. CFL on CBC returns. We're back in Montreal where the Riders have won 13-7. Looking ahead on the right to McMahon Stadium in Calgary where the Hamilton Tiger Cats are the visitors against the Stampeders in what has become a very big football game. Here's the victorious coach today, Danny Barrett of the Roughriders. Congratulations, Danny, and what made it for you today?
Well, I think the key was eliminating the turnovers and not shooting ourselves in the foot. I think if you take away the one that we did have, we probably could have got some more points out of it. But all the credit goes to the players. They prepared this week with the idea that we need to come out here and play an A game, and we did today.
Everybody talks about Keith Smith and the job that Darren Davis did on the offensive side of the football, but they also mentioned if we can limit Montreal's offense, which they did, 7 points, that has to be a huge part of the Saskatchewan game.
Without a doubt. And defensively, knowing that they were going to be without, Cavilla, which has been the guy that's taken the majority of the snaps all season, that, we had to try to find a way to get after Gonzalez and nullify the big play because they have the potential with the big play with Davis and Haskins. So we took away the big play and made it more of a ball control type game, and we're victorious in the end. But again, Richie Holland and the defensive staff did a great job as far as shutting them down when we had to.
In a season which hasn't always been positive in terms of results, you have a late victory like this and you still have a chance.
Yes.
How do you build on that?
Well, we talked about coming over here. This is the drive for 5. That's 1 for us. So we're still in the drive for 5. And looking at the situation in the West, it's still wide open, and they waited on us, and hopefully they waited too long. So now we've climbed back into this thing, and now the idea is to build on this going in. We got our fans come back to Taylor Field against the Stampeder team that we felt last time got away with one in McMahon. So now we need to line up in Taylor Field and get the victory.
Yeah, a very short week to prepare for Calgary, and what's the key to beating that football club in your mind?
Well, again, it comes down to not beating ourselves. They have a good football club. They're well coached. We know a lot about each other because we've already played 3 games. You have to be physical, and I think that's the key, physical, and we still got to find a way to get the ball in the end zone because they're potent on offense, and Travis Moore probably sitting at home thinking he'll be back next week. So we got to find a way to keep them off the board, but at the same time get some points, and if it becomes becomes a shootout. Hopefully Taylorfield crowd will take us over the edge.
Danny, thanks for this, and good luck the rest of the way. Go and see the boys pour Gatorade on you.
Yeah, thank you. I just want to say hello to Allison and the kids back at home. Love you guys.
All right, Danny Barrett, the head coach of the Saskatchewan Roughriders. He got drenched today. They won the ball game 13-7. Back in Montreal, 13-7 victory for the Saskatchewan Roughriders over the Alouettes, and the Alouettes have now lost 3 in a row, which is an unreal situation for the football team. Eric Lapointe carried the mail today for the Alouettes, and how frustrating is it at this point?
It's really frustrating at the end of the year to lose 3 games in a row like that, when you really need to get back on track and be able to get in the playoffs the right way. Right now, we're not playing as a team, and everybody's kind of struggling, offense, defense, special teams. All we have to put everything together and get back on track, like I said.
Look, you got injuries to Calvillo, you got one to Pringle, Jack Climby. Will you use that as an excuse, Eric?
It's not an excuse. I think we have a lot of depth. I think everybody should be able to step on the field and make the right plays when we need it. And today we did play together, and we don't need the individual efforts. We need to play all together, and we didn't do that. We're losing, obviously, some big piece of our team, but they will be back at one point, and I think right now we just have to work on team chemistry.
Eric, so much talk about this being the Grey Cup city and all those tickets sold at the Big O, and this team trying to get into the Grey Cup. Have you ever caught yourself looking ahead to that big game and not taking care of business at hand?
I don't think so. I think right now everybody was focusing on finishing first, and right now it's almost out of reach. I think it is out of reach, but we're in the playoffs, and that's what it counts. It's one game at a time now. We have to be able to, like I said, finish the right way. We have 4 games left before the end of the season, and it would be nice to win all 4.
Very short week to prepare for the Toronto Argonauts, who you take on Saturday. What will you look forward to there?
Toronto is a tough team to beat. Michael Jenkins, really hard to stop there. They have a tough team with also Calvin Tiggle in the second area. It's going to be really hard to beat them. They're fired up right now. They won 2 in a row, and we need to step up there.
Eric, thanks for coming on, and good luck to the Alouettes.
Thank you very much.
There's Eric Lapointe of the Montreal Alouettes. Upstairs now to Chris Walby and Mark Lee. Guys.
Thanks a lot, Scott. Chris, clearly this football game was won and lost on the ground, and the numbers provide a stark contrast when you look at Darren Davis with 18 carries for 135 yards. Thomas Haskins, 12 rushes for only 11 yards.
Well, that's why they were interviewing the fellow they were, Lapointe. He had the most positive yards rushing with 20 yards. Haskins did nothing. I mean, they really do miss Pringle. And the funny thing, not to look ahead, they talk about the difficulties they had stopping Darren Davis, and they go into Toronto next week having to do another big game defensively against, one of the premier running backs there. So I think that the work is going to get tougher for them, but they got to really group together again right now. They seem to be lost right now, floundering, if you would, and they need to find something that's going to pull this team together.
Well, I want to ask you about that. Off the top of the broadcast, we showed the fight here in practice on Friday. Pierre Vercheval admitting that this team was feeling the heat on a 2-game losing streak. Now it's 3, and the magic number for Winnipeg just 1 for winning the East.
Well, the biggest thing is, that Cavillo's not coming back next week. So this is the guy they got to ride. They got to ride Gonzalez. But I think the biggest thing that surprised me was that they didn't go to their weapons early. It took to the 4th quarter for them to throw some passes in Tyree Davis's, direction. Where was Ben Cahoon? I mean, where was Alexander? These things concern me. Those are the things I'd be concerned about if I was Montreal, because you have got to attack teams. You cannot play into the defense, and that's exactly what they did today.
Not to make excuses, though, Dan Gonzalez has not got many reps this year, at week 14 getting his first start, but the numbers do tell the story here, and let's take a look at the final stats of today's 13-7 Saskatchewan win.
Well, you can see it, right there. 171 yards rushing to 49. That's the one that sticks right out. But you know what? It's just execution. I think that's the biggest thing. And you talk about, Gonzalez, a very confident young man, had a pretty good game last week, but I think he was brought down to earth today by the Saskatchewan defense.
And the complexion keeps changing in both the West and East divisions. How about Saskatchewan? Many people had written them off, but here they are. They have a chance to catch Calgary. They play Calgary next week, going in just 3 points behind right now. Of course, a lot depending on the result of today's Hamilton-Calgary second-half doubleheader.
Well, I just think that they had the one line that I really liked. It was called the drive for 5. They had 5 games left counting today. They've taken care of today. Now they got to take care of the next game against Calgary. Well, Calgary's got to play today already, so we'll see what happens there. But I think it's such a confidence builder and such a monkey off their back, winning in a place where not many teams win.
I'll be happy back in Regina, where football is the only game in town at this time of the year. Let's go back downstairs to Scott.
Right, Mark and Chris, so a 13-7 victory for the Roughriders. That makes the second game of our Thanksgiving Day doubleheader out at Calgary's McMahon Stadium a huge one between the Stampeders and the Hamilton Tiger Cats in both East and West standings. And with a preview, let's join Steve Armitage.